Boom. What's up, guys? We are live. So we're waiting on Undead Chronic right now. I don't really know where he is, but he did text me and confirm that he's coming on. So let's give him like a few minutes. I just didn't want to postpone this on you guys. So let's get going. Okay, so let me first explain my motivation for doing this. So I was moderating the debate yesterday, and as a moderator, I felt ethically obligated to just not really voice my opinion. And Chronic was the second guy that came on. He was the guy that had that little outburst with Liz at the end. And so I was watching that whole thing, like not even so much that, but some of the arguments he was making about virgins and all that. And I was just like holding back, like my fucking, like, I don't know, holding back from just like speaking my mind. But I felt like if I did that, it would be a 2-on-1. And, that wouldn't really be fair. So I stayed pretty quiet during the whole thing, just enforcing the rules the few times that they were broken. But I was like, after that, I was like, holy shit, like I really want to fucking speak my 2 cents on that, especially about this whole virgin nonsense, like how this glorification of virgins, like as if there's like really that many virgins left anyway in the 21st century. But anyway, so yeah, I'm definitely going to debate him on that. Also, he did a co-stream, and he told me about that ahead of time, so it was cool. But in that co-stream, after he got off my stream, he spun a very interesting narrative where I thought there was a lot of BS and cognitive dissonance in that. So I want to go through all those points because he was basically claiming that the reason that that basically was making the argument that I got super upset, which I didn't. I was just literally enforcing the rule, and that he wasn't even disrespectful. That he was actually giving her a compliment. I'm just trying to imagine the scenario. You're at a party and you're with your girlfriend. Someone comes up to you and you say, "Hey, this is my girl." Blah blah blah, and they say, "Oh, I want to fill her up with my jizz." Would that be a compliment? Like, the logic is insane. But anyway, so I'm gonna give him a few minutes to come on. I texted him. Let me check the phone. But hopefully he doesn't bail. That would be pretty anticlimactic. So while we wait for him, I'll just run through some questions. Oh damn. Okay. Okay. I understand why men appreciate women's virginity. I just feel that looking for one is archaic and tone deaf. Most girls nowadays are not virgins. Yeah, exactly. Like there's where you outside in first world countries, you're not going to find virgins unless you want to get married like super young at 18. But in their mid 20s, late 20s, they're either if a girl is a virgin in her late 20s, she either is super religious or she has major hangups about sex. Either way, that's not something that appeals to me. Virginity is just most about the ego. Yeah, I basically agree with that. Someone says all he does is bitch about women in his black pill incel group. Yeah, I'm not too familiar. I never heard of him until yesterday, but there does seem to be a lot of complaining going on in on the channel. Yeah, the first debate was kind of pathetic. UC looked like a tile leftist attempting to explain why toxic masculinity is bad. He had no argument, just personal attacks with no merit. 02. Yeah, I generally agree. Bulldog Mindset did a video on Dead Chronic back in 2019. Oh, snap. I want to check that out. Undead Chronic so insecure clears line about success with women. Lol. I have no way of proving that, but yeah, I was kind of dubious of his 80 lay count claim. Okay, what else we got? Only time I ever had sex was a virgin when I was in 10th grade. Lol. That's funny. Uh, how do you think this debate is going to go? Uh, well, I mean, we'll see. I guess. I'm hoping he shows up in the first place because that would be extremely disappointing. Is Undead Chronic a good faith debater? Well, I believe not. So people were saying in the comments that he went into the whole stream with a plan to like ambush John, which is like just doing things in bad faith. And that's so common in the black pill community. And I shouldn't say that like on all black pillars because we waffles never did that. Caduceus never did that. So I'm not going to make the claim that this is just like a black pill community thing. But I've seen quite a bit of that, just bad faith debating. Okay, what else do we have? Alex, can you turn off the explicit language figure if that's possible? We don't need saving. I didn't even know I had one. I don't. How would I do that? Yeah, I'm down to turn it off. I didn't even know I had one. I curse all the time. So, fucking fuck. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Someone says, this is pretty funny. Wait, let me close this shit. Uh, when was the last time anyone who saw a virgin over the age of 21? Pretty fucking rare nowadays. Yes, it is. Okay, what else do we have? No one wants to settle or talk to dozens of chicks, but if you do, you will get a girlfriend. Well, there's no guarantees, but the more volume you go through, the more likely you are to find a girl that's cool. Yeah, I agreed with that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he's like 210 or something. I saw what John looks like. He's not in great shape, but not fat either. Just a little chunky at most. Okay. Oh, Natty says she has a lot of female friends in their late 20s who are still virgins. I've never met any, but text me, babe, who they are. I'm curious. The debates have been epic lately. Uh, yeah, sweet. Yeah, man, I agree. Sweet. Okay, I hope so. I mean, we're supposed to start at 9:45. Well, initially we're supposed to start at 9:30, and now 9:45. But maybe he's running late or something. Uh, Alex, what do you think about guys game who fucks on average about 5 to 7 girls a week? That's really fucking good. That's like significantly above average. His game is really, really good. Then. Oh no, Alex, I'm still trying to make sense of these real law, bro. These rears aren't normal, just trolling, which is also weird. Yeah, I get a little kick out of like doing that. I don't know why, but it's how my brain is wired. All I'm gonna say is he would never have said that shit to person and Liz. Yeah, the thing is that a lot of people say a lot of things online that they would never say in real life. Like I see this all the time. Like people just feel emboldened to talk a big game behind a screen, but I severely doubt anyone. Not even that's on him. I just don't think anyone who isn't a total like psychopath and is looking to whatever to get into a fight would say that to someone in real life. So someone says, I think his guest appearance was enough. It's not hard to read the print. Why is he back? I felt like it would be an interesting debate, and there's a lot of ideas that he had that one challenged, and I didn't get a chance to because I was just a moderator. Hey Alex, I love the analysis of the Love Is Blind show. If you could do more analysis shows like that, it was amazing. Yeah, man, we'll do. It was a good video. Alex, what's your opinion? He used to game with you many years back. I'm not familiar with him. Maybe he went by a different name, but yeah, I'm not familiar with him at all, honestly. What if she wants to wait until she finds a guy who she loves? I would tell her good luck with that plan. Oh, Chronic will show up. He wouldn't give up a chance to roast a PUA. Okay, yeah, well, we're waiting on him. Uh, what was the official time of the debate? It's supposed to be 9:30. And then push it back. We push it back to like 9:45. So yeah, supposed to have started like 20 minutes ago. Alex, without doxing, but where's your porno circulating on Pornhub or what? It's on this chick's OnlyFans. Um, yeah, so you can find it on there. It might be on Pornhub. I don't know. Sorry, I'm a little late. Can you give a brief summary of this debate? Yeah, so I kind of explained that in the beginning, but basically, I'm just going to be challenging him on some ideas and cognitive dissonance that I saw. Alex, these debates have been entertaining as hell recently. Keep it up. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's gonna be one of the points I'm gonna make. Only time you get virgins when she lies to you. Yeah, I agree with that. Like most of them, there's some times where a chick is a virgin, but then again, either she is super religious or she has a lot of hangups about sex if she's like in her mid 20s. Does anyone here want a virgin as a girlfriend? Not really, because she's probably gonna suck in bed. Is it fair to say that John Anthony overcharges in comparing to the rest of the market? I wouldn't say so. There's some pretty crazy prices in the dating niche. Like Richard Cooper charges 1,600 an hour. I think it's all subjective. I thought the price argument was a little weird because again, it's all subjective. Like people charge what people are willing to pay them. Like if John wasn't getting clients at that price, he wouldn't, be charging that much. So I don't know. Like, do I think it's excessive? I don't know. It depends on what your perspective is. Grant Cardone charges 25,000 an hour for marketing coaching. Do I think that's excessive? I don't know. Like people are willing to pay for that if people find value in it. Like my whole thing is as long as you're not lying to people and you're not like deceiving them or scamming them, then the rest doesn't really matter to me. Most virgins do other stuff. Virgin often has different meanings. That is true. Alex, you should review sex dolls. It might be cool perspective from someone who thinks it's weird to use. I don't think it's like weird. Like I agree with him that there's a lot of stigma around male sexuality with turfling and monkey. It's just like I'd rather fuck a real girl and I'd rather focus my energy on like getting laid or banging real girls than banging fake dolls. Like I don't know. Call me old fashioned. Alex, do you remember that the girl was telling you about the one whose mom said she was okay for me to her daughter to go out for sushi? Do you remember that girl was telling you about the one? No, I don't remember, man. You gotta keep in mind I get so many comments and like posts and stuff like that. So you have to like I don't remember off the top of my head. Those debates would go different face to face. Yeah, I largely agree with that. The problem is that obviously of location. I don't know where Chronic lives, but I'm assuming it's not Miami. Also, if it's like a black pillar, they don't want to show their face. That kind of removes the option of doing it face to face. Alex, man, your how to DM videos helps a lot, man. Thanks much. Yeah, no problem. Alex, if the sexual market in Miami is so skewed that chats are hitting on who is fucking the nights? Uh, who is fucking? Oh, okay. He just texted me. He said he's coming on in 10 minutes. So I think there was just a misunderstanding with the timing. It's all good. Alex, if the sexual market in Miami is so skewed that chads are hitting ugly girls on dating apps, who's fucking nines and tens? Any number of guys really could be. Sometimes the nines and tens aren't fucking like perfect chats. Sometimes they're fucking like sixes and sevens. Could be guys in their social circle. It could be there on OnlyFans and they're begging a bunch of porn dudes. Could be anything, really. Uh, you think John is going to dox him? No, I don't think so. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of doxing at all, no matter how good the reason. So, but I don't think he is. But I can't control what he does. We are friends, but we're completely independent of each other in terms of like our business. Okay. Why did my dumbass think the intro song use was custom created for the challenge? Just found the dope ass song. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's not related. Someone, I think my tech guy found it. Uh, I've noticed John doesn't mind betting the truth to women. Do you think that's a bad idea for guys looking for relationships? Potentially, depends on how much you bend the truth and if it's something substantial. But yeah, potentially that could definitely backfire. Alex, are you going to have are you going to have children? I don't have any plans to. I'm not ruling it out, but I have no plans. It's not like my primary goal at this point. What do you think of Kevin Samuels? I'm generally a fan. I think he's a really good guy overall in terms of his content. So I'm a fan. This is MJ. This was my first wing ever. When I moved to LA and I got into game, me and MJ used to go out and pick up chicks. Good time. Okay, Undead Chronic is here. Yo.
Hey, I'm sorry I didn't see you rescheduled it. I assumed this was the starting time.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, man. So yeah, so I'll kind of get you up to speed. So I just been going for 10 minutes. I explained my motivation for
Mhm.
wanting to do this stream. And my motive is pretty simple.
Yes.
It, it's that I was moderating and out of good faith, I didn't want to make it 2-on-1. So I basically stayed silent most of the thing. But there's a lot of things that you said that I want to challenge you on. Uh,
Mhm.
and I also watched the stream that you did, or at least most of it, the stream that you did post debate, and I saw a lot of interesting things that I
I
want
felt like a big YouTuber when you popped in. I was like, "Oh, look,
to.
it's a certified." Yeah, but I will give you props for this. You did a good job. Make sure we didn't speak over each other because that's the worst. I hate YouTube streams and dudes are screaming over each other and the listeners are like my poor earphones. So you did a good job of that, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's definitely deteriorates the quality. So yeah, so the only rule we're gonna have this time is no interrupting. So kind of riffing off that. But other than that, yeah, it's gonna be a free for all.
Free for all.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my main thing.
Mhm.
Um, I believe my argument is there's a lot of cognitive dissonance on your end that I
Okay.
saw, and let me give you a specific example. So
Yes.
we all know how that stream ended. Um, and on your stream, you kept claiming that it's because you told the truth. And that was like why we got upset or whatever.
Mhm.
But that really wasn't. Like if you had just said, hey, John, I think that your girlfriend would be low value for me or something like that. You said, and I quote, oh, I would fill you up with my cum. So
Well, zinc.
zinc, whatever. Yeah. So it's like you were insanely rude. And I just feel like you're not owning it. And you're just kind of doing mental gymnastics to justify that.
Yeah, let's we'll discuss a couple things. So the way I phrase it, would I take her out and fill her with zinc? Yeah, she's attractive enough for me to do that, right? Was it rude to say that to his face? Sure, but he's a doxing bitch. So like, I really don't respect him. Like he ruined a 19-year-old's life. Is he gonna get that pussy hurt because I said I would have sex with his girlfriend? Isn't his shtick? He's like, look at this beautiful, sexually attractive girl I got, and then I'm like, yeah, I'd have sex with her. He's like, oh no, please no. You have a point. It's rude. You said think about it, someone said that in a party, yeah, but I think what it is my truth is different than your truth, and that's okay. You just need to. It's a different of values, right? So those kind of women that he engages with, they're not worth anything more to me than an easy lay.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to get into that. So,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, yeah, we all hold different values. I'm not going to criticize you for having different values than me. That's fine. I
Mhm.
respect other people's to have different opinions. But if you and I were at a party and you brought one of your friends, let's just say, he
Mhm.
was like a black pillar, and you're like, "Hey, this is my friend." I was like, "Oh, we
Black
got another black pill faggot." That's not me. Even if I may feel that, that's not me just speaking my truth. That's me
Mhm.
being directly fucking rude to your friend, and
So
that's fine.
what did that black pill guy do that would make you call him a faggot? Did he dox your friend?
Well,
Because
again,
if he
that's
did, I would say, yeah, dude, I would do that in that situation. Like I
yeah.
have no. You go on. No, you go.
Yeah, so my criticism isn't of the like I'm not going to say oh you were justified, you were not justified. You said what you said. It just
Mhm.
I found it kind of interesting that you were doing a lot of like mental gymnastics and you were basically saying that well Alex got butthurt and they got butthurt and I was just telling the truth and these guys can't handle the truth, right?
Yeah.
If you're just like yeah whatever I was rude and you just fucking owned it, I wouldn't even be bringing it up. I just kind of
Well,
found that to be a pattern of cognitive dissonance where you're just
well,
like
it's like, what's the truth? My truth is that she is low value. She's attractive enough to leave filled with zinc, and I wanted him to know that. That's what I do to low value women, and all the work he puts in for all these women, his whole life's work to get them. That's what they're worth to me because we have different value system. And he could be upset. He's like, "How dare you say that to my face?" But he doxed someone, so I guess it's like, yeah, I don't respect him.
I mean, you're entitled to that opinion, but I mean, I'm sure you've heard the saying, two wrongs don't make a right.
Mm, I mean, I wouldn't say it's wrong. I think everybody should tell him that his bitches are low value.
Okay, we're going to get into that whole argument because I find
Yeah,
the
no, yeah.
logic fascinating. I'm just surprised you're not seeing the kind of the contradiction there of like saying that, oh, yeah, like I'm just telling these guys the truth and these fucking beta POAs, they just can't handle the truth. But in
Mhm.
reality, it had nothing to do with you speaking your opinion. Like
Well,
during the whole stream, it was the fact that you were insanely rude, and the whole chat literally was like, "Yeah, that was like really rude."
well, I mean, let's be honest. The man who fucked up was John. He brings her in like an ornament. Why would you do that? Why would you bring in a woman you suppose, I don't know if he loves her, but he knows, I think, non-virgins are low value. Why would he bring her in? I don't get it. He's like, what? He thinks
Well,
that
he doesn't.
kissing her is gonna.
He doesn't know that. That's the difference in values. Me and John don't believe non-virgins are low value, and I want to get into that whole thing.
Well, I'm saying, like, I told you guys multiple times that stream that I believe that. So,
well, I mean, again, the reason is because we all agreed to rules that we're not gonna that we're not gonna do personal insults. So I assumed that because the rules were agreed upon, that you would just basically honor your word.
So, is it insulting to hear a guy wants to have sex with your girlfriend?
See, like, you're making the argument that it's like a compliment, but like it just so clearly.
Oh, you could say it's aggressive, but is it an insult to have your girlfriend be sexually attractive?
Right, but you said, and I quote, "I will fill you up with my zinc." Right, that's a
little
different.
I would.
I find your girlfriend attractive. Yo, man, you have a hot girlfriend.
Well, what's the full quote? It's like, you're low value. I wouldn't invest in you. I wouldn't marry you. Would I take you out and fill you with zinc? Sure, because I was talking about how I see low value women. I didn't just say, oh, I totally smash you. No, it was in context of why I thought she was low value and how I treat low value women.
So you're claiming that you don't think it's insulting to say that to like a chick to her face.
What? I don't see you as a worth commitment or marriage.
And I'm gonna fill you up. It's just more of the second part. It's not the first.
I'm gonna fill you up. It's like the describing the mechanics. No, like I knew for a fact that would piss him off and I get kicked off and I broke the rule, but I was leaving anyhow. So
okay.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like, like the 1 strike, 2 strike rule. It's like, Chronic's been a good boy all stream. I'm about to leave. So yeah, no, yeah. I from a YouTube mechanics, you could be like, bro, come on, foul play. I get that.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying that, like, I just think that claiming on your stream that the reason that we made a big deal out of it was because you told the truth is quite disgenuine when it wasn't that. Because like now you're saying, well, okay, yeah, you know what, fuck it. I just I was leaving.
Oh, it's my
shit.
Well, that's fine. It's still my truth. It's still my truth. So like my fans, like, it's not the truth. It's the truth they think. And so my truth is the truth that they agree with. Yeah, to them, it's the truth. You guys don't agree with it, but that's all right.
Okay, but then that's like me saying, I could say, well, I actually, Chronic fucking told me that he's secretly gay. It's not the truth, but it's not.
Wait, can you say it again? I love sorry, go on, say it again.
I feel like that's such like a crazy argument. Like, well, it's not technically true, but it's my truth. Like, oh, Chronic secretly told me that he's married to a goat, but it's not the real truth, but it's my truth.
Well, it's based off a lie, because like I didn't tell you that. Whereas my truth is how I see his woman. She's low quality. She's a hookup, and I'd speak crassly, fill it with zinc, and leave her crying to John. He's like, oh, I swear it's a one-sided open relationship.
Right. But the whole thing wasn't that. I'm not saying that was the lie. I'm saying the lie was when you went on your stream and said, well, these guys, they just can't handle the truth, when it wasn't like had nothing to do with the truth and had to do all with like the rudeness and the demeanor. So I'm just
I guess that we'd have to find the clip from that stream, because I might have been talking more meta than like, I don't know what truth I was talking about, because it's probably just about the broader topic of virgins, right?
Yeah, I just feel like if you just like own it, you're like, yeah, you know what, man, whatever. I didn't give a shit. I was leaving, like you're kind of doing now. Like if you just say,
no, I'd say it again to his face. Your girlfriend, John, is worth nothing more than a cheap cream pie in the back of a bar and maybe a tequila shot if it's on sale.
But would you really say that to his face?
I wouldn't meet him. I don't want to get chlamydia, bro. Why would I want to go down to Brazil and meet him? He's a known doxer. He's like, okay, I see. Here's where this is considered personal attack, but I see the pickup artist community as cockroaches, pickup roaches. Like, why would I want to engage with that? Would never go to the same party, ever. Because like
you're entitled to your opinion. You may think whatever of us, and that's one thing. But you're making the argument, yeah, but I would say that to his face. And I'm saying I don't think you would, because a lot of people on the internet, they feel emboldened to say a lot of things that they would never actually say to someone's face. Like, would you actually, like, if you did run into him, and he was with his girlfriend, say that to his face?
He would never even get past the community gate to where I live. There's no instance where I'd come across that kind of gutter trash in public. If I saw him in the gas station, grabbing on his girl, I'm not having a philosophical conversation about what the value of virgins are with some random in a gas station. Why would I do that? That's a waste of time. It's because he has a platform on YouTube.
It sounds like the answer is no. Like you wouldn't actually say that to his face, and
Well,
that's not. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
That makes
would you do a TikTok dance on Mars without a spacesuit?
I
No,
don't
because you're not gonna
Well,
go to the surface of Mars,
yeah.
right? I mean, as I say, it's not gonna happen.
The point I'm making is that a lot of people feel very emboldened to say some shit on YouTube that they would never actually say to someone's face, and that's fine. That if that's who you are, but like I just think it's pretty disgenuine for you to claim. Well, I would just say that to his face. I'm like, would you really? You're like, well, I would never.
If a dude wearing a bro tank came to me with some girl who's talking about he slept on the second date, and he said, "Is she high value?" I would say the same thing to him. Right now, it's a question of, do I want to get in a fight? Do I really want to deal with lawyers and stuff? That's not worth my time. Are the cops around? Is it guaranteed I'm not going to deal with the cops? That's a different situation. But who John is as a person, he doxes people. So why would I ever meet him? Period. There's no reason for me to meet him. I can,
Exactly.
I can cause all the emotional damage to him online.
Okay. I mean, exactly. So like you feel that, okay, but I wouldn't have, you feel like basically online, it doesn't matter. Right. But like to someone's face. So again, it's just like pretty disgenuine to say,
Lying?
What?
Wait, do you say, just repeat what you just said.
Oh yeah, no worries. I was saying, so you're basically saying, yeah, like I would never actually say that to his face. That's the argument you're making.
I mean, if he sees my face, he's doxing me. That's the kind of man he is.
Maybe he is, maybe he's not.
He's done it. He defended it on the street. That's who he is. I mean, like, he defended doxing. So like, there's no, just off of that, I would never see his face. Never.
Right. Okay. We can move past this point. I feel like I made my point pretty clear. The second point I have is this. When you guys were doing your stream, you guys were basically, your buddy, I don't know what his name is, but he came on and said the rules were tailored to favor them. And you basically kept claiming a few times that the rules that you guys felt so restricted by the rules. The only two rules I have, as you know, is no trolling and no personal attacks. So I'm just curious, how exactly were you restricted by the rules?
So are you good friends with John? Are you like a protege? Are you partners? What's the relationship there?
We're friends. We're not.
There you go. Yeah. So you defending your friends with the personal attacks kind of rule, it proves that you're loyal to your friends. For me, a lot of my arguments and crassness would be interpreted as a personal attack, whereas, I'm trying to be funny and pass a message along. Like me talking about his girl in the back of the bar with the tequila on sale. You guys would say that's a personal attack. I think it's a joke, but I'm reaffirming my position of what I think about low value women.
Yeah. So the rule was
constrained. I don't think my arguments were hampered. I just wasn't allowed to be funny or attempt to be funny. Whether or not you guys think it's funny or not, it's whatever.
I mean, again, I think that's a little bit of a disingenuous statement that we like on this channel. Like, I don't know how familiar with my content, but you know that I make a lot of fucking inappropriate jokes. I actually think we have somewhat of a similar style of humor, as a side note. So if you were cracking a bunch of jokes, that's the last thing I would take issue with. And the rules were two ways. It wasn't like if John started personally insulting you, I would just sit by. Yeah, I'm friends with him, but I enforced the rules both ways. Like when he was interrupting a few times, I also stepped in. So again, look, if you feel like, I don't like the setup, that's fine. But I think just to go on your stream and say, oh, these guys, they fucking restricted me with their rules. They're setting it up to win. That's not really true. It was a fair debate. I let you have an hour. I let you make all your points when no one interrupted you. So
no, I agree with that. No, it was more of a discussion. I don't think I said that the rules really hampered me. I think Hammerhand said that. Hammerhand really doesn't like you guys, but that's something else. But like me saying that the kind of woman John gets with a low value, you jumped in, you said that's a personal attack. That wasn't. It's just I see them as low value.
Again, but that's not when I jumped in. You said I would fill her up with my zinc or whatever.
No, you jumped in before that. And you said, hey, no personal attacks.
So but
to be fair, you did when I explained it. You're like, oh, okay. So I'm not sure if that was a strike or not. I don't see the scorecard.
Yeah, my whole thing is I like to do things in good faith. So it wasn't like my goal wasn't to like give John an unfair advantage. And I think that's like pretty clear. Like it was just to have a good spirited debate. Like, and I think no personal attacks and no trolling are reasonable rules. It's not like I'm like, okay, you're not allowed to talk for more than 30 seconds. You're not allowed to make your point. Like I wasn't holding you to a bunch of technicalities, but that's just again kind of what it made it sound like on your stream. Like you felt so encumbered by all these rules that like these like weird PUAs are setting on you. You can't get a word in, and they're just fucking pulling technicalities on you. And again, that wasn't the reality.
No, I don't. I don't really. You can correct me, but I don't really think I gave that impression. It just hampers the other skills I bring, because a big part of it is John values himself based on how hot and how he thinks his women are the shit. I describe in explicit graphic detail how I don't think they're that. Someone says it's a personal attack. I couldn't really argue against that, but it's just the style of the debate. Was it fair? Yeah, I think you did a good job running it. I think when he went off on his CV and resume, I was kind of falling asleep, but I don't really think you did a bad job. Hammerhead might have been like, it was catered for him to win. For me, it's just like, I had a lot more fun after the debate, because I have the freedom to say what I want. But again, I think you did a reasonable job, especially considering how contrarian I was coming into it.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I don't know how familiar you're with my content, but you're not the first person to come on my channel who has these, like, basically similar values to you. So it's not like people come on my channel, if they disagree with me, I, like, fucking pull all kinds of shit on them. That's, like, never once happened in the history of my channel. Again, going back to the point of, like, I just said it like it is. Again, it's, if we were all at a party, and I know you're saying I would never be in a party.
No, okay, no, I'll play along. Okay, go on.
Well, like if we're all at a party, right? And we're having a discussion, and you said, "Yeah, John, in my opinion, I don't actually think your woman is high value. I think that's that for these reasons she's lower value." Mm-hmm. That you would probably be okay with saying, because that's just your opinion. Mm-hmm. But I think that you're basically admitting that you wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, and I would fill your girl up with my zinc," because I think deep down inside that's not something you would ever say to someone's face.
Well, let's clarify the situation. In this theoretical situation, are me and John friends, or are we just like acquaintances? Or we just meet?
Well, let's just go off of the situation. You guys just met. You don't know each other at all.
Okay, if we just met and he was talking about his girls, if I just met John and he said he had 15 girls on rotation, and this girl's high value and she's not a virgin, I'm like, okay, take a sip and then just laugh my ass off with my friends. Because if I say that to his face, I have to end up choking him out, going to jail, dealing with lawyers, maybe get my nose broke as I do it. It's a brawl between two squads. That's not worth my time.
Right, because they're in real life, there's physical consequences to.
Yeah, John would end up getting permanent brain damage. I don't want to do that to a poor pickup artist. I mean, on my screen, I got him like knocked out in an IHOP. I think he needs every brain cell he has left.
I agree with you that.
Which, by the way, that picture, I'm not sure who took it, but even if I happened to me, I would want that same picture taken, because I make fun of it, but like that's fucking hilarious. Which picture? It's probably gonna get neck pain for a whole week. He's like, "What happened last night?"
Which picture do you mean?
I don't know. I think it's an IHOP. He's like in a. If you just pop on my screen, he's just like literally just leaned all the way. He looks like he's about to fade into the shadow realm.
Oh, right. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Let's move on to like the bread and butter of the debate. I kind of want to just bring those points up. So, the argument that I was really want to get in on is that basically and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to straw man you.
No, yeah, go on.
You believe that if a girl's not a virgin, she's low quality?
Low value in terms of specifically marriage and children, right? So like that's why I asked about marriage and kids. If you guys don't want marriage and kids, you just want sex and girlfriends, then yeah, you can throw that virginity thing out the window. Who cares?
Okay, so you're saying for what? For long-term potential, then she's low value?
For the production of a strong family. It's typically marriage and children. And I say marriage because like dudes are like, don't get married. If you have kids with a woman, at least in the West, you're practically married. So, she can take you through the gutter if you have kids with her and you're living together.
Okay, because it seems like you're kind of doing you're not completely backtracking, but you're kind of changing your position a little bit. Because as far as I understood, your position was like any chick who's not a virgin is only good for just like a fucking one night stand or casual sex, and anything more than that, like you're just a fool if you're basically gonna be dating a a non-virgin, which is interesting because we already know that John is not really interested in having a family, right? So then if
No, he said maybe.
right, but he's
Yeah.
maybe right. But
Yeah.
if he's only interested in like whatever short-term or medium-term things, right, and you don't think that a virgin is a virgin is okay for that, then why would Liz be low quality?
Well, I'm saying low quality to me because I'm not trying to have a series of girlfriends the rest of my life because I promote having strong families. That's why I try to do you want kids? You want families? It's value for me, right? I'm not interested in having like a bunch of different girlfriends, a bunch of different random hookups, having to shake the hand of the dude that takes my urine sample at the SED clinic. He's like, "Hey, how you doing? How's the wife?" That's not what I'm interested in.
Okay, so you're saying that so that basically she is low quality for me because I am looking for marriage. That's your argument?
And for men who want strong families, she's low quality.
Okay. So what is this argument based on? Like, why specifically is she low quality if you want a strong family?
So it's multifaceted. But the number one thing that has the statistics behind it is virgins get divorced. I think their rate is 18%. And if they take one schlong, it's 42%. I think two is 52%. Now it gets weird. I think after like 6 is like 60%, but if they had like 10 or more, it's like down to 50%. I can't explain that, but I just know if you have 100 women, if you want to reduce your chance of getting divorced, you choose the virgin. That's the divorce aspect. There's a religious aspect, which I highly doubt you guys care about that. That's just that's more cultural. If you buy into it or not, it's not really a particular argument if you're not about that. And then there's if I'm going to have a wife, I got dudes like Chronic. I only have a 9-inch dick. What if she had sex with a dude with a 12-inch dick? Well, if she's a virgin, she has nobody to compare you to. So because there's a physical pair bonding mechanism that is not used up, but highly activated with the first sexual partner.
Okay, so it sounds like you have multiple arguments. But my question is this: How do you know that a chick you're going to wind up with who says she's a virgin isn't just lying to you?
Yeah, I get that. That's a good question. So women lie, right? So how do you know she's actually a virgin? There's a bunch of different filters you can put on, and even if you use the best filter, you can still have a collar bacterium pass through the filter, and then you're shitting your brains out for a week. Is she religious? How's her relationship with her father? Does she go to college? How old is she? What does she do for fun? All these things can help you verify her virginity. Like if I have a 25-year-old ex-sorority girl who goes to the clubs every weekend telling me she's a virgin, it's okay. But if I meet a girl at church and she's 18, I knew her dad for years, and she likes to knit on the weekends, she's probably, more likely to be a virgin if she tells you. Now, are there those girls out there who are not virgins? They're just lying to you? Yes, but it's just filters. Like dudes can marry a girl with a body count of 8, and it's like 50, it's like 54, something like that. There's still half of those marriages don't end in divorce. But when I'm talking to my fans, I'm talking to the community, I'm talking to thousands of men. And so here are some filters you can use to avoid divorce. But you can always get yoinked on. You can get, you get lied to. That's very possible. Because even if she doesn't have a hymen, some women are born without hymens. It's a small percentage. Some women regrow their hymens. Some women have a hymen, but there's a hole in it, so it doesn't bleed. So the hymen isn't also a 100% guarantee.
Yeah, no, she can lose it horseback riding or whatever. There's any number of reasons that can make a girl.
I always make the joke. I'm like, what are these saddles made of? Is there a dildo on it when she's bouncing up and down? That's the number one response about the hymen diamond thing. But yeah, she can just kind of physical activity. I don't know, hot yoga, or someone runs up and punches her in the cooter when she's 16. That could happen.
Yeah, any number of things can happen. I think the problem, though, is a little bit of a glorification of virgins. I believe, my argument is that you're creating in a system an incentive for women to lie to you. Because let's say a woman likes you. She's like, oh, Chronic is a great guy. I want to marry him. Well, if she likes you, she probably knows something about you, and she knows that you really want a girl who's a virgin. So at that point, the incentive for her, if she likes you, is to lie to you, is to be like, yeah, I am a virgin. And I understand that if she's an ex-sorority girl or something like that, it's pretty obvious that she's lying, but there's a lot of chicks who are in between. So I think the problem with that idea is that you're just basically encouraging girls to lie to you and tell you what you want to hear. Oh, yeah, no, I'm a virgin. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. If she wants marriage and resources and she knows I only want that from a virgin, there's an incentive. Now, besides all the other filters that comes up, how does she know that you want a virgin? Like, how do you bring that conversation up? Because that's a big thing too. I mean, you got to kind of put on a mask. Hey, babe, I think we're long enough in our. I've been dating you, taking you to church, whatever, and going to mass. And I feel like I need to admit to you, I have like, I don't know, 10, 20, whatever it is, sexual partners. I would just undershoot 10. So like, oh, you're lying, but whatever. I have 10 sexual partners. Is that a problem for you? If she's not a virgin, she doesn't know you want a virgin. She's like, oh, that's okay. I have 2. Right. So you can play that kind of mind game. Now, if she watches my videos, meets me IRL and knows this whole deal and, can play the perfect act. Yeah. There's that incentive. But there's also the fact that majority of dudes don't care about this. They don't care. They don't need a virgin. Ugh. So a lot of guys are willing to march into the machine guns with no body armor and a stick. Like, we will marry hoes. And I'm like, okay. So, but you're right. There's an incentive to lie. It just depends on when she finds out that Chronic wants that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be interesting asking a girl if she's a virgin, like right away before she gets to know you. Like, I'm assuming she would probably get to know her a little bit before you ask her like personal questions. I mean, maybe not. Maybe you're like super direct and blunt in the first.
I think it also depends where you meet her. I think 60-70% of relationships start on apps or online. So, the first date, there's that romantic intention within both of you. It's a tricky game to play. That's completely different than you knew this girl. Her religious pastor or leader, her family. That's just very different, right?
Yeah. I guess my follow-up question to you would be this. You mentioned multiple times you want to start a family. How likely do you think you are to find a virgin in today's day and age? Like, how practical do you think that strategy is?
In the West? Oh, I would say America is the worst place to get a wife. Absolutely. Pretty decent for making money. We have the best weed in the world. What else we have that's good? If you want to laugh at fat people, this place is great. To find a virgin, oh, it sucks. It takes so much effort to do that in the U.S. I would just say it's better to go abroad.
Right. So when you then say it's a very impractical strategy, like you're looking for something that doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, they exist. It's just a large sacrifice, right?
Yeah, so, sure they exist. I guess the better term is they're very, very rare. Right? Like there's 10,000 dudes who want to marry a virgin. There's only 500 virgins that you have a problem and supply. Right? So if more guys are looking for virgins, they're not going to find it. So then what's the other option? You just wind up alone forever.
Again, I think like 99% of people aren't looking for virgins. That's just I have no data to back that up. But do anybody that talks about that demands it? No. I really don't. So you said you had people come on your show before with the same kind of philosophy. Did you have like the no hymen, no diamond, only marry virgin people come on? Because I haven't seen them.
Sorta, yeah. Oh, okay. They didn't say it like that exactly, but that was the general gist of it. And look, I want to be clear. I am not if you want a virgin, more power to you, man. Like you're entitled to have your preferences. I like big titty girls, right? That's my preference. You like virgin?
What kind of girls?
I like big titty girls. Girls with big
titty. Okay, I think you said like sorority.
Titty girls. Okay, we all have our preferences. There's nothing wrong with preferring a preference. What I find is problematic is then when you then make the argument that any chick who's not a virgin is low value. That's a completely different thing than you having a preference that you want a virgin. You see the difference there?
Well, it's for me. I have guys calling like, "Hey, I have this girlfriend. She has 2 dudes before me. She says she loves me. She's submissive." I'm informing you of the stats. Well, dude, you're flipping a coin. But if you think you're going to get the right call, go for it. It's definitely hard to do. It takes a lot of sacrifice. You need to make yourself so attractive to virgins. Like people are like, well, you're going to take a virgin out and what are you going to do? She doesn't give a pussy. Well, if I'm trying to marry and have a family with a virgin, I'm not trying to smash her in the back of a coffee shop the first date. I treat them differently than if I treat a girl. I'm like, I'm bored. Need to go on a date. I don't care if they're a virgin. It's different. So for me, for the purpose of, it's almost like in parentheses, they're low value, parentheses, for the production of a strong family, and parentheses.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a way more rational argument. I think that wasn't your position. Like when I was watching the stream, you were basically mocking anyone who would ever even hang out with a non-virgin. Like
hang out? Like, what do you mean hang out? Like date?
Like literally like, oh, Johnny, this Liz chick, she's not a virgin. Well, what an idiot. He's with a non-virgin. Versus now you're saying, well, for me personally, for marriage, I want to.
He's living with a non-virgin, right? He's paying her resources. So like the big difference is John's not interested in making a strong family. So okay, I'll see your genes. Never, right?
Okay, so wouldn't it then be more fair to say in the initial debate, okay, well, actually, for me personally, I wouldn't actually want to be with a non-virgin, but you want something different, and that's fine. That's like that's what
Yeah.
your position is.
I mean,
now.
if I could go back and be like, you're completely content living a hedonistic lifestyle, catching chlamydia, having chronic serial girlfriends, and history will remember you as the founder of the Vegas Pussy Massacre crew. And the fact that nobody laughed at that, how is that not hilarious? Even for both sides, like that shit's hilarious. He didn't even laugh. It's like Stone Cold. Like that's not a roast. That's funny. It's hilarious. He's like, I wrote the joke. How was that not fucking funny?
The name itself is pretty funny. I just don't see how that proves anything. Yeah, like it's pretty fucking funny.
I guess I just
but like,
to you guys, I'll say to you guys, it's not cringe. To pretty much virtually everybody outside of your fans, it's like turbo cringe. It's like, dude, that's a joke. There's no way he.
No, I agree. I agree. It's cringe. I think it was a joke. Like we have a group chat called Miami Pimps or whatever. It's a joke. It's like an inside joke. We don't actually consider ourselves Miami Pimps.
I would highly suggest you change the name of that, just given the past legal allegations, because these feminists will use anything, man.
You may be right about that. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
You gotta protect yourself, and that's like the difference between I haven't watched a lot of your content. I definitely respect you a million times more than John. Now you can say that's like half a unit of respect. Well, I got negative respect for him. I guess is that a non-real number? What is that? Yeah, that's not the respect doesn't exist. But I do think that you're a little more reasonable. But like, would I want feminists to destroy you and dox you and end everything? No, not for you. No way.
Well, I appreciate that. It's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, and I appreciate you saying that you respect me, because in your stream you said that I'm a scam artist. So
yeah, I mean it's like scam by association. Like at least I respect your ability to have a rational conversation, but you're holding hands with a piece of dog shit. So my the Hail Mary kind of like kick six Auburn beats Alabama for me is you go, you know what? This guy's this guy's drunk in IHOP. Here he is grinding on a homeless dude. I want to disassociate myself from him. I don't expect it to happen, but there's a chance maybe.
Okay, so your argument for me being a scam artist is that I associate with someone who you perceive to be cringe.
Do you sell courses?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would consider that a scam artist.
Why specifically is my course a scam?
I would think because a lot of the dudes who buy your courses and this is not just you, this is anybody who sells how to get pussy courses. What kind of guys buy that? They're the kind of dudes John was in high school: introverted, virgin, weak, low confidence. That's just, I just feel for those men. I wish they could just get out of the need, feeling like they can buy their way to being confident. I don't get that.
Let's assume your premise is correct, and which I don't think it is, that all the people who buy my course are whatever losers. If my course helps them be happier and get better results with women, how does that make my course a scam?
Well, how much do you charge?
$169.
Is that like for the course?
Yeah, that's for
so like it's a sliding scale, right? Like, is it as bad as I'm talking to John for $1,000 an hour? No way. If you're selling material for $170, I would just say it's like, someone that buys a snake oil for $170. Is that a scam? If they just say it's snake oil, not so much. If you're just selling material for $170, if they're saying it's going to cure your testicular cancer, that's a scam.
But why is it snake oil if it's doing exactly what I promised in the marketing?
Well, here's the thing. Like, you have a financial incentive to say it works. Right?
Sure, that's true.
So and I don't care about receipts. Like, I don't care. It's every single pickup artist is going to have receipts showing that their stuff works. I just think that, if it's dudes with six packs that go to the gym that make six figures are all having problems with women, and you can prove that all those dudes are going to get bountiful pugniti, that's what I would need to see. If it's dudes with if it's dudes that look like John buying your courses, I'm like, no, they should be going to the gym and not spending money on courses.
Yes. I mean, you can make the argument about literally any single business that they have a financial incentive to lie. So to me, that's not a convincing argument of why my stuff doesn't work, is because I have financial incentive. You can make that argument about every single business, like every single shop owner or someone who has a business has a financial incentive to claim their stuff works. So
it's like saying I don't want to use medical because that's kind of, it's like saying dudes that go to the gym. If you go to the gym and lift a lot of weights, you'll lose weight. That's just that's just proven by its merits, right? Now, if there are people, I'm saying if there are people that are using your course and they're still getting no pussy, and it might be on the other end, they lie to you. Bro, your course was amazing. I got so much pussy. Bro, I need throw me a life preserver. I am drowning in Brazilian pussy right now. Because, these kind of people I see are, again, vulnerable. They need to find validation and hookups, and they respect you, so they buy their course, and they want to give you positive feedback.
Sure, that could potentially be true, but again, I don't understand how that makes me a scammer. Like, what is your argument for my course being snake oil? Like, I want to hear.
If they're not jacked and have their financials in set, they're wasting money on your course. I would need to have every single else done before and it's like, what do they want? Do they want to know how to angle their feet to get some puniti? Yeah, maybe you guys know how to do that. I would just say, like, dude, are you going to the gym? Or where's the financial? Where are you looking for? How many times do you go out and just talk to women? And I don't know your customer base, but if you have people say this helped a lot, this is great, this is a great service, I can't discount that because I don't know them. I'm just telling my guys, why? Go to the gym, put some weights up, get your money right. And after it's like, after all that, I had a dude email. He's like, I'm autistic, and I'm serious. I'm autistic, and I only have 2 limbs. How do I slay pussy every night? I'm like, I don't know how to tell you that. Like, what? Like, I can't tell you about that. But I haven't seen your course material. I don't want to pay for it because I'd rather buy some weed, to be honest. But I can understand why you take some offense to the scam. But these pickup artists, like as John said, there's no price for the top things. Well, who doesn't have a price on their product until they find out how much money is ready to be given? Scam artists.
Yeah, again, I'm not taking any offense. I'm just trying to figure out your logic, because saying that my course is snake oil, that's a pretty strong claim. So I want to hear like a solid reason for why. Now, the argument
I'd have to. Okay.
Is that well, these guys should go to the gym and get their fitness in order. I actually agree with you. That's why in my course, one of the biggest things I talk about, one of many, is going to the gym. I have a whole bonus chapter on how to get jacked. I agree with you. Like, getting your fitnesses in order is important, but I don't see how. Like, your argument is, well, these guys maybe should try going to the gym first. Okay,
well, because you're charging to tell them to go to the gym.
No,
I'll tell them if you're trying to get pussy and you're not going to the gym and you're not physically fit, go to the gym before you consider these courses.
But why can't you learn game and go to the gym? Like, why are they mutually exclusive?
Because maybe you don't need to pay $180 for a course. You can just pay $180 and get a gym membership for a year.
Sure, okay, maybe they don't need to, but why does that make my stuff snake oil if it works? Like, why I don't understand how that makes it bad just because they could go to the gym first. Like,
it's bad because of all the dudes I know that were successful with the women, none of them bought these courses. None of them. Now, all the dudes that talk about buying these courses, none of them that I knew were going to the gym.
And you don't think that could be sample bias?
It could be, but again, what kind of guys are going to pay for advice on how to get puniti? Dudes that don't get puniti. I would recommend this might inform you, is like, if they buy a course, have them, and I'm not sure how you sell it, but have them fill out a Survey Monkey, because then you can get data on your customer base.
We already
comments.
Yeah, this is all stuff that we already do. But again, just because they're not getting late, okay, like let's.
I wouldn't know because I don't buy that.
That's fair, but I'm just saying. Like,
I was just honest.
Let's assume your premise is correct, and all the guys who buy my course are just complete failures with women. How does that still make my product snake oil? Say it whatever if they're getting results with women afterwards. Like, just because they're not successful, that's like saying, well, doctors are scammers because every person who goes into the doctor's office is sick.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'd have to delineate whether or not that they're succeeding from your game aspect or if they're succeeding from your gym fitness advice. Can you think of a study? I don't know how I would have the study if they're both introduced at the same time. You'd have to offer the same course and have people not have any idea what's happening. One course is just game, one course is just fitness, and one course has both. And then one course is just chronic, laughing to the mic. That could be a placebo.
Well, a whole bunch of people are extremely lazy, so most of the people don't actually go to the gym and take my fitness advice. A lot of them, I have to like constantly scold them to do it, and most of them still don't wind up doing it. So again, like, it's just such a strong claim. Oh, this guy, your shit is snake oil. You're a scammer. Well, this sounds like you haven't gone through my product. You don't know anyone who's gone through my product. So you're just.
Well, I mean, for me, you're saying like, what if my product is telling them to get their fitness and their financials in check? Well, if that's the case, you don't have to charge for that. I tell dudes that for free. Now, if dudes that do that and they're still having problems with puniti, they take your course, they show your game works, then you could say you have a point. But for me, like, you're giving the free advice out and you're charging for it. So that's why I say it's a scam.
So is a personal trainer a scammer because he's charging people for fitness advice?
Is he charging for advice, or are you charging for in-person, form correction, diet advice?
Either or.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're a personal trainer for puniti, you'd have to show up to their, after the gym, after the finances get settled, and move their feet in the right angle to get them to get puniti.
Right. Well, we actually do that because we have a mastermind group, and access to the product comes with a mastermind group. So we literally actually physically do hold their hand largely. And we do that.
Oh, wait, do you fly them to Brazil, or do you go to them?
I don't live in Brazil. I live in Miami.
Okay. So they fly to Miami, or do you go to them?
No, we have it's like a virtual mastermind group.
Oh, well, that's not the same as a personal trainer is someone in the gym helping you out right there.
Right. But
you're thinking like a virtual personal trainer.
Right. Okay. So with someone, you a fitness consultant, or let's say marketing consultant, you go to someone, you want to improve your business, you want to improve the marketing of your business. You go to someone and you say, hey, I want to, hire you. Like, is that person a scammer? Because he's giving them marketing advice.
What kind of marketing advice or services are they providing?
The kind that help their clients achieve their business.
Well, that doesn't tell me anything. Was it social media analytics? Is this like sample size? Are you going on person? Are you, looking at financial data? Are you going to different stores and talking to the store owners? Like this is so many aspects that go into that.
Well, it's completely, how does that play a role? Either the person is scamming them or he's not. It doesn't matter.
It depends on the marketing advice. If the marketing advice is, center your energy and pray to Solaris and you'll sell more coffees this week, I'd say that's a scam.
Right. If the stuff is not doing what the person promised, then yes, it is a scam.
But like, it's also like, there's the there is the placebo effect. So if someone gets someone to pray over crystals and they feel like they can conquer the world and they get a little more success, is that a scam? Or you're selling a placebo effect? Are you selling a placebo effect? No, you're selling the magical crystal rituals. So maybe there's guys that take a pickup course, feel validated. It's not the actual advice you give, but they feel like it works and they're more confident off of that.
So is your argument that my course is a placebo effect? Is that the argument?
It could be. I don't have any data about and I don't know what what success for your course means. Is it like I want to go from 2 low quality punitis to 4 low quality punitis next week? Is it like I want to catch chlamydia 4 times? I don't know what metrics are successful for your course. I just know that most of the guys attracted to this kind of stuff. Well, okay, let me take it back. A lot of guys attracted to this kind of stuff are dudes that have absolutely dog shit success with women.
So again, assuming your premise is correct, how does that, even if they have extreme dog shit results with women, if the course helps them have less dog shit results with women, how does that make it a scam? Like how does the fact that most of the people who buy my course are not that successful, how does that make me a scammer or make my course snake oil?
Well, the question is like, why are they having problems with women? Why did your course solve that? I don't know those whys. Are they having problems with women because they're twerking on homeless dudes? I don't know. Are they having problems with women because they just introverted, socially anxious, have some kind of medical problem they haven't had diagnosed, and your course is like, here's a guy telling me I can do it and that's going to help me out? Or is it, here's my specific game steps, I'm a jack guy, I just don't know how to, I say angle the feet because that's all I know about the pickup artist scene. Like angle my feet and now I can finally get my first girlfriend.
Do you really think that's what my course is like?
I don't know. I don't buy this stuff. So like, if you want to give like a quick, I don't want you to spill business secrets, but if you can like inform me, I'm willing to listen.
I mean, it's an extremely long course. There's a whole bunch to it, but basically, it's
elevator pitch. We got this.
That's
Miami elevator. It's a long fucking way up.
Long to explain. In essence, basically, it's some detailed thing. We go through their dating profile, we go through their texting, we go through what they do on dates, we go through what they do after dates, we go through their lifestyle, their mindset. I mean, there's a whole bunch to it.
So it's not like a series of PDFs. it's like a series of, you give them PDFs, or is it like videos they watch and then they call you up, or they're like giving you what's the
Well, like I can answer that
format?
question. Why does the format make any kind of difference whether it's a scam or
Well,
not?
because if you're sending $170 and it's like 60 pages of like how you text a girl, that's a waste of money in my opinion.
Right, but there's a big difference between a waste of money, in my opinion, and it's a scam. Those two are they're largely different. Like I can
Yeah.
think that
Mhm.
I can think that you smoking weed is a waste of money. I don't. I like weed, but I can think that. But that doesn't mean that your weed dealer is scamming.
Or why do I smoke weed to get blazed, right? And why do dudes spend $180 on a course to get pussy? Now, what if I
Exactly.
told them there's a much cheaper, efficient way to get pussy and they don't have to spend money on the course? I would say it's, and I guess it's like, what's a scam? Do I think you're calling grandmas and like, telling them you're going to get all the old grandpa dick? No, I don't think that. Um,
It just sounds like you personally don't see the value in pickup courses, which is
I
fine.
don't.
I don't. That's your opinion. You're entitled to that. But then to make the argument that, well, just because I don't see the value in something, that means it's a scam. That's a pretty big logical.
Well, I mean, is it a guarantee they get more pussy? Are you saying, is there a guarantee with it, or is it I just help your game? Because it's kind of like saying the crystals are a scam. Like, I think it's a scam. Can you sue them for a scam? No, because you can't prove it.
Well, the thing with a scam is that if you tell someone something and it does not do that. So I do not guarantee that guys are going to get pussy. I do have a 30-day money back guarantee, and I've honored every
wait, wait,
I've ever had. I get like maybe 0.2% of people who buy my course ask for a refund.
Do you get dudes like look at my dick? It's a dick pic. It's so dry. I want a refund.
No.
How does that conversation go? Like, are they saying you're like, what are they just roasting you? I don't want it.
They say, "Excuse me, sir, can I please have a refund?" I mean, that's how most people send an email.
I thought it'd be funny if they're just like, look at me. I get no pussy anymore. I still get no pussy. Give me my money back. Give me my money back.
Yeah, but hey, I want to get back to the point. So again,
Yeah, go back to
again,
it.
you don't see the value in it. How do you then go from saying I don't personally see the value in it to it's a scam?
Do you see the value in wearing glass crystals on your neck to centralize your spiritual energy?
No.
Okay. Would you say it's a scam?
It's a scam if the person selling the crystals says, "Oh, it's going to do this and this," and doesn't do that. If the person selling the crystals is like, "I don't know, these crystals are cool and they might increase your energy," I don't know, then it's not a scam.
So if the person that kind of says these crystals will centralize your spiritual energy to the center of the continent of Africa, and your melanin will exponentially increase its function, and they're saying that, and people buy it, is that a scam?
Well, yeah, because it's not going to actually increase their melanin.
Okay, well, not say melanin. I said increase the functionality of it. It's going to synchronize with the sun's waves. Something you can't prove, right? So it's like that. To me and you, we know that's bullshit. It's like,
okay, so your argument is because it's something you can't prove, right? But okay, so
yeah.
Then would you make the argument that, well, you can't prove that these guys are doing better? I mean, I guess we can go on.
Yeah, here's the thing: to prove that your pickup course works, you're gonna need like 1,000 people doing it. You're gonna need like a statistician. You're gonna need like checking up on that. That's like to prove something. It's a lot of money, and I wouldn't. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. Yeah, you can't. You're not gonna spend the money to prove it because it's too much money. If every single pickup artist agreed to do some kind of study like that, I'd look at it. But there's no studies on it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are other ways to look at proof. There's the fact that I don't know, I have less than 1% refund rate. There's the fact that I have countless testimonials.
They're fans of you if they're going to buy the product, and they got to talk to you and have you buddy up with them, because like, why would you roast and be mean to them? You don't be mean to your customers. So there's a lot of these confounding factors that unless you privy them out and like look at them all separately and account for them, you can't prove it. Now, your personal experience, and not saying it's worthless, it's somewhat of a proof. But for me, I'm like, well, how much gym work are they doing? How do we look at all the dudes you sold courses to and be like, well, it wasn't really the gym work. It was me telling them how to get their text game up. I don't know. I'm not going to, for me, it's like I don't know. I haven't seen the data. I just don't think it's worth the money. And I see it as, melanin synchronizing with the sun.
Right. So if you don't know and you personally don't see the value, then why do you say it's snake oil? Why not just say
you don't know either, because you don't have the same study. because for me, I have a burden of proof if I'm going to say something actually works.
No, the burden. No, the burden of proof is on you because you said it's a scam, right? So,
well, I mean, if you're going to say this works, show me the data, and it can't just be I know people. It needs to be this is their muscle mass, this is the body fat percentage, this is how often. How do you even? Because
what would be an acceptable level of proof according to you? How can I prove that according to your?
Man, how would I design a study to prove that?
What's like a practical, tangible way that would be sufficient level of proof?
You would have to like when you mean practical, like something that's cheap,
something that's like actually doable, not like super insanely speculative.
I mean, you could do a study. It's just expensive. Like I could literally sit down. Now here's the thing: I'd have to sit down and talk to my boys that work in a lab and like a stats guy because I'm not that good at stats for like a couple weeks, a week to design it, like 2 weeks. It's a lot of work. That's a lot of IQ, like brains pressing against a whiteboard for things dudes aren't interested in. They'd be like, bro, Chronic, what'd you call me in here? We need to find out if Pussy Crushing Course 3000 actually works. I'd get slapped with a microscope. But I could design it. It's just, why would I need to do that? It's easier for me to say, look, if you go to the gym and get your finances up and you still can't get, I think you guys promote more like frequency of puniti encounters, right?
I don't care what the person wants. Whatever the person wants, my goal is to help them get there. Whether they want to be in a serious monogamous relationship or they want to have insane amounts of casual sex.
So then that makes it even more complicated because how do you measure success? That's what someone wants. What if someone just wants to talk to you? There's a success.
Well, we go off basically with the results that clients report. So, for example, someone's like, hey, I went 2 years without getting laid, and now I have, several booty calls, or I have a girlfriend. We measure that as success. If someone says, hey, I wasn't able to get whatever I wanted, then we measure that as not success. I mean, it doesn't have to be rocket science. It
just has to be science. And if you're basing your science off of people's approval of your methods,
I'm basing the success rate off what people's results that they report back.
Yeah, and people who pay for your course and see I would say if you did a course where they never saw your face, and you did a course where they saw your face, you would see a significant difference in satisfaction on the dudes that saw your face, simply because they want a personal human interaction. So that's like one of the variables that you'd have to account for.
Yeah, so in my course, we actually don't. It is actually PDFs. That's why I kind of.
Okay. So it's like a combination. That's a combination of. Okay, go on.
So I'm actually saying that they don't actually see my face. It's just largely written and text examples and photos and whatnot.
Okay, and then you got but that's still as you can probably guesstimate that probably would affect the data set, right? Whether you see someone's face. Whether or not you have that, that's just one of many, many, many factors you'd have to account for. Because the higher up you go in the levels of science, like if you go from chemistry to biology, you get people with Nobel Peace Prize getting it revoked because they didn't account for some small biochemical property that we didn't know about. Now you go from biology to psychology, like sociology, which is kind of like a combination of what your course is, because it's such complicated systems. It would take, even if I designed the study to the best of my ability, and we had unlimited money, and I was able to prove it works. And I take off my green skin and I fly to Brazil and I show my face and I go, this is how you get puniti. Someone can still come to it 5 years later, like this is bullshit because of this. And I'd have to redo it. So you can't really.
So the argument you're making that there's actually no way to really prove this stuff.
You would have to have a lot of money and a team hired to do that consistently.
So it's not practical.
I mean, it's what's practical to you, right? If you were a billionaire and you were like, fuck this greenskin dude, and you want to prove I'm wrong, it's practical to you.
Well, I'm not a billionaire.
So it's not practical in our situation. No, it's not practical to prove whether your stuff works or not. Yeah, I agree with that.
So then why by default the assumption is that I'm a scammer? Why not? Well, we can't prove this stuff.
Well, you can't.
Why is the assumption that I'm a scammer?
Well, there's some mythical religious things that you can't technically prove because it's very complicated.
Right, but then why is the assumption I'm a scammer? I'm not asking you to go out and endorse my product and say
no. Again, because I don't think dudes that go to the gym and have their finances set are having problems with women.
I know a whole bunch that are. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
how many? Thousands, hundreds? How jacked are they? Are they autistic? What's their neuro profile? And we get into the weeds and it turns into the same conversation.
I've had dozens, if not hundreds, of clients who were. Yeah, I do agree with you that getting your finances in order and getting jacked definitely increases your odds. I know plenty of clients who have done that, and they're still extremely struggling with women. I mean, is your argument that the only thing you need to do to be successful with women is just to get jacked and get your finances in order?
And work out that social muscle. So like if you guys would redefine the thing as we're going to make you guys more charismatic, period. We're going to work out your social muscle. That's different, but that's not what you're really selling. You're selling, I'm going to help you get what you want from females.
I'm going to help you achieve the kind of dating life you want, not get what you want. There's some things you can't get. Like I'm not teaching guys how to be the Tinder swindler and how to scam girls for money.
Now, if you could teach me to be the Tinder swindler, and what do you make, $3 million, something like that?
You made a lot of money.
I'd buy that course fucking twice.
I'm sure you would, but I don't have that course. Fuck!
Damn. Okay. Are you done with your drink? Finish your drink, bro. Get out of here. Drink your drink.
It's just kind of, again, it's like it's such a strong claim that this guy's a scammer. This guy's whatever.
So I mean, do you think that John? No. Would I say someone's selling 160? It's like levels, right? Do I see you as the same level of scammer as the legendary John Anthony Lifestyle? No, you don't pale in comparison. That dude sells $1,000 an hour for his bullshit. That's a scam artist.
Right. But the question is, why am I a scammer at all? It sounds like you can't prove that I'm a scammer, but you're making that claim.
I mean, you can't prove your stuff works. So you can be like, I disagree. That's what it is. You can't say
I have significantly more proof because I have hundreds of testimonials.
Where is your data? Can you publish it? Testimonials don't mean shit to me. I got, who was the guy that got sent to the bottom of the river, Missouri? Emmett Till? Yeah, there was a testimonial there that he raped a 14-year-old white woman. Was that a good testimonial? No.
Right.
So your personal experience is a lot of dudes that initially buy your course. They want to prove to themselves that your course helped them out. Like how many guys buy like a shitty car, but they're just going to talk it up, or they buy some shit they don't want to admit they fucked up. So your testimonials, I'm not saying they're all bullshit. You might help some people. I'm just saying that you can't prove it. Unless you...
Yeah, sure. I can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And just like you said, it's pretty much impossible to prove it besides a reasonable doubt anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just leave it at that? Why then go to the assumption that, well, because this guy can't prove it?
Because I'm not proving without a reasonable doubt that you're a scammer. I think you're a scam artist. If I knew for a fact, if I could take John Anthony Lifestyle to court and put him in prison so we can, up his partner count to the legendary 2000 number, thanks to Tyronius and Tiresias and Tiresias Jr., I'd do it. But I can't prove without a shadow of a doubt. But it's my opinion he's a scam artist. Now, if you're selling a $170 course and you're saying I'm really just helping guys with social skills, I'm not saying I'm not saying that you're like you're just basically stealing from the fools, like as bad as that. But is this your full-time job?
What it is, but what role does that play into it?
Well, then your whole life, your lifestyle depends on it.
So again, your argument goes back to the fact that I have a financial incentive, therefore I must be lying, which you can make the argument for every single business.
Does a doctor have a financial incentive to save a patient? Is he lying when he saves the patient?
Yeah, he does have a financial incentive. It doesn't mean he's lying. You're kind of playing into my point.
Well, he has a financial incentive, and it's impossible for him to lie because the result is there. You're in a nebulous space where no matter what happens, your stuff works.
In a life or death situation, I guess there's no way he could lie. But a doctor, if someone goes to the doctor and says they have a headache or whatever, they have, let's say, arthritis, he gives them whatever medication, then I guess there's no way to prove that it helped. Or it wasn't a placebo effect. It wasn't something else that patient did.
Take a Tylenol. Drink some water. Thanks, doc. That's $300. Continue.
Right. So again, I don't see how that any of that confirms that. Like you can make the argument that anyone has a financial incentive.
Well, you're selling a service. I would say a service versus a good. So like, how about you make a metaphor? Like what other field besides pickup artistry would you say makes my argument bad?
A marketing coach, a business coach.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of scam artists, marketing coaches, and business coaches. Any kind of the golden rule of YouTube is that they got coach in their name, they're a bitch. Because I've never seen someone with coach in their name that is worth the time and money they ask.
Why?
Well, can you name one YouTuber with coach in his name that is providing a valuable service? They're upping themselves. I want to be a life coach. Half these therapists on Instagram, they call up these girls with,
I agree. I agree with you. There's a lot of.
I'll say, like, you chose that. Well, you're saying all these marketing people are scam artists. Like, not all of them. Some of them might work. But I would guarantee you, if I saw a marketing coach in someone's profile, I'm like, it's you kind of wince. I wonder what the deal with that is.
Yeah, I agree with you that there's a lot of scammers in the marketing space. And I also agree with you that not all marketers are scammers, just like there's a lot of scammers in the pickup community, but not all guys in the pickup community who coach are scammers. So just the fact that there's a lot of people who scam doesn't make me a scammer by default.
So I guess it's also like the whole field. I don't think there's one pickup artist who sells courses on how to get puniti. I don't think any of them are really helping men out. It's like, I can teach you how to hit the right vein to put heroin in. That's a bad service to learn.
I think your argument would have a lot more credence if you actually had some kind of tangible reason for.
If I had well, it's because I think men should be concerned about building strong families, and that's the complete opposite of the pickup artist community. You guys want a nut and some chick.
Sure, but that doesn't make me a scammer. Again, I'm gonna say that you're a scammer because you have different values than me. I don't understand.
Well, no, what am I selling? That doesn't work. I don't sell anything. I guess I sell t-shirts. So if someone buys a t-shirt and they get a picture of a t-shirt, you can call me a scam artist.
Right. Again, so I would be a lot more convinced if you had an actual reason for why I'm a scammer instead of just I personally have different values.
Well, it's the pickup artist community, right? If you're surrounded by cockroaches and all of them are trying to convince you not to use the can of Raid, you're like, no, I'm not a cockroach, I'm a millipede. It's not it's not, as I said, I can't prove that you're a scammer, but dudes that need to buy courses on how to talk to women, they have a whole lot of other problems they need to address. So you're selling a poison to an antidote. Should be selling an antidote.
So why do you put this stigma on guys who want to improve their results with women? Why is that so bad?
Well, I mean, I guess take out the religious. The religious part is this degenerate. What your whole purpose, John Anthony's, his whole purpose in life, his life's goal is to get with as many women as possible. Do you want your son to do that? Would you be proud of your son if that was his goal?
Again, there's a lot of people who are not religious. Me being
okay. Well, would you be proud if your son's goal was to have sex with as many women as possible?
Would I be proud of my son's goal if that was his only goal, or there was other things that he was doing?
It's literally his number one goal. He can say other goals. I want to box. I want to make a fitness brand. But everything he does, it points to the reason his number one goal in life is to get as much pussy as possible. Is that something to be proud of? It's
extreme hypothetical because I don't have.
Oh no. It's extreme, but would you be proud of that son? Would you be proud of that man?
It wouldn't be as black as white as that. I would probably just tell him to I'll be like, hey, does this shit actually make you happy? Chances are it's not. So I'll be like, okay,
yes,
it does. Have another purpose.
I'm the son. Yes, it does, Dad. Alex, or no, Dad. I got 10 punyitis this weekend. I love life. He's 60 and you're 80. You're about to die. He's like, yo, Dad. Yo, the girl in the room next door, I only used half a bottle of Vaseline, but I got it in. Would you be proud of that man?
Again, it's not as black and white as that. What else?
Oh, it is black and white. It's black and white because it's an extreme situation. I'm trying to get whether or not you think that's a valuable life goal. Is that a valuable life goal? A purpose?
I don't think it matters whether I think it's a valuable life goal. I personally know.
I'm interested in whether I'm interested in whether or not you think. Okay, I'm interested in whether or not you think whether it matters or not. I think it matters to me because I want to know.
I personally don't think it's a valuable life goal.
Okay.
I wouldn't shame someone for having that as a life goal, but I personally
would you shame your son if he was on the road to just being a sex addict and getting with random chicks his whole life, never have a family, and you say, what about your family? He pulls out his dog. He's like, hey, I got Toto here. Toto the fifth. It's the fifth one I got. Is that you wouldn't feel any kind of shame or regret, or I should have raised him differently?
Right, but John is not your son. That's the big disconnect.
Yeah, I don't want young men turning like him. I don't care about John. Obviously, his father failed him because if he was my son, again during his live stream, I would bitch slap him on a live stream if he was my son.
According to your religious values, I could make the argument that a lot of the stuff.
Oh, you could take it out religious. You could ask atheist dudes, hey, if your son's if his number one goal, not everything, but his number one goal, I want to get my partner count up. I gotta I got a condom box I bought when I was 12, and I just put a little microscopic notch on it. I want to get that whole thing maxed out and then put it on top of my grave, laser that thing in. Here lies John Anthony lifestyle. I slept with 2,000 women. Is that not something you would be ashamed of? Like that's it.
You're looking through the lens of your values. For example, through the lens of my values, I would say, one of the big things I value is respect. And you were quite disrespectful to Liz. So according to my values, like I wouldn't. You wouldn't
want to sound like me. I get that. You wouldn't want a man. You wouldn't want a man that dares to hold women accountable to his values. I get that. No, I wouldn't want a man who spends his whole life chasing low quality puniti.
Right, then that's fine according to your values, but I wouldn't then hold you to my values. That's the thing. I'm not going to hold you to my values.
I mean, I'll hold you guys to my values because you're exposing young, vulnerable men to this kind of toxic ideology.
But the initial question was, why is it shameful for a man to want to improve his success with women? Why is that a bad thing? What's so wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong paying dudes whose entire goal is sexual degeneracy with that. Like, you don't need to pay for these courses to improve your success with women. And it's also like, what is success with women? It is success with women getting a wife, trying to find a virgin. They probably want to go to my channel. If the success with women is, I want to be known as the pussy genocide crew of Vegas, they should probably, I don't know. I guess they should buy a couple pickup artists. That sounds dirty to say, but yeah, if that's their whole life, yeah, they probably want to, even if it doesn't work, they want to see the information.
Most guys' goal is to get laid. They want to meet chicks and they want to ultimately get into a relationship, whether it's a short-term relationship or a long-term relationship. That's what 95% of guys want.
Now, if you think 95% of guys, is your goal to get laid or have a family? What do you think they choose?
You sort of need to get laid in order to have a family. You can't have a family without getting laid.
Well, that's completely different than I just want to go out and get laid and meet chicks.
Right. For most people, it starts with like, hey, like you go out and you hook up with girls and then you find a girl that you like and then maybe you settle down with her. Maybe you don't.
Yeah. And then she's a non-virgin, you flip a coin and you get laid by the family court judge.
Right. But either way, you're taking a risk. Like you mentioned that the odds were smaller, but they're still 15%. So either way, you take a risk.
Well, it's like,
I'm not a big fan of marriage, honestly. This is why
well, it's like if I had two guns and I gave it to you and I said, point it to your left nut and shoot, one has one bullet in it and one has three, you're going to choose the one with one bullet, right? So there's still a chance, but it's about risk reduction. That's why, I think John should start rubbering up risk reduction.
I get all that. I just don't. If the guy is not looking to have a family, I just don't see the need to shame them for wanting to hook up with chicks.
Oh, I shame them because the guys that listen to me want strong families, and we look at the horn dogs out here again with low quality puniti. They're like, they're stamping that syphilis, the chlamydia card four times a lifetime, and that's pathetic to us. So yeah, I'll shame him because it's funny. It's entertainment to laugh at dudes like John. He's drunk at an IHOP. He's grinding on a homeless dude. Is that not hilarious? To me and the guys somewhat closer to me, that's hilarious.
So your argument is that it's okay to shame because it's hilarious. I could literally go after.
Hey, you guys.
We have a bunch of religious weirdos who want to have a bunch of virgins and are living in a fantasy world, right?
That's not a fantasy world. They exist. They just don't pay attention to you guys.
No, they're extremely rare. You kind of admitted that, right?
Well, in the U.S., yes.
Right, but you live in the U.S., I assume. I live in the U.S. All our audience mostly is in the U.S. Our fan base is largely in the U.S. We're not preaching to like Saudi Arabia, right?
I think half of my people in the U.S., half are abroad. I think if you just take a YouTube channel, man, I think you'd have a lot more non-U.S. listeners than you'd expect.
Right, but even when they're non-U.S., they're Canada or they're Western Europe, which is going to have the same exact issues, right? It's not like I just see the kind of places.
It's a step ladder. It's a step ladder, right? I would say it's a step ladder. It's, some places, it's if you double the virgins in the U.S. compared to, let's see here. What's the most decent Western European country? I don't know. Let's just make a guess. The super Catholics in Spain. Oh, we went from 0.1% to 0.2%. You're still doubling it. It's still very rare. But, I don't want to get too religious, but a virtuous wife is worth her weight in rubies. So even you go out to religions, they are extremely valuable and rare. It's been talked about since the religion started, since it was written down in the text.
Is it okay? I don't want to take this too off track, but isn't like a whole big thing with religion, do unto others as you would want done on yourself? I mean, I'm assuming you're Christian, right? When you say you're religious, I'm assuming you're not like,
Do not assume I came to bring peace. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. That's what Christ said a couple of weeks before, or a couple of days before he was crucified. So I do agree. There's a lot of cut Christians out there, and you might have a lot of bad, or I would argue, wrong impressions of what the religion's point is. I think that the U.S. Christian church is extremely cucked, and I talk about that at length.
yeah, I'm not criticizing you for being religious. You're
No, I didn't get that vibe.
Yeah. The point I'm making is okay, if your whole big thing is that you want to be ethically consistent and religious, then wouldn't it be completely out of line with your values to be like super rude to a chick who literally was nice to you?
Well, if me roasting her, and let's be honest, was she nice to me because she thinks us green skins are famous below the belt? No. She's nice to me because I would say she wants to perform for the camera. I'm a loving girlfriend that's nice and sweet. Now, me telling her she's low value because she was not a virgin, it kind of reaffirms my belief and shows my audience I'm not going to just flip on a dime because some girl with a very sexualized outfit comes in front of me. And maybe there's a girl out there who's 14 and listening to this, like, you know what? Wow, maybe I should value my virginity. So for the, do I need to put on the kid gloves to, I think you made a big mistake, but no, it's not up to me to forgive them. I can't forgive them for their sins. That's not me.
I mean, the amount of mental gymnastics you're doing with this very specific.
Go back with the question. You said, don't you do unto others and do unto yourself? That's one verse.
What do you think Jesus would be like if you were just saying, I want to fill this chick up with my cum? Like that, or whatever you call it, something different, but you mean cum. Like clearly that would not go against Christian values. Like clearly that would be like, okay, that's a big fucking no. And again,
wow,
like,
he's pissing. He's using his righteous wrath to call sinners out. I don't know. Like, what would Jesus say about John Anthony Lifestyle getting chlamydia 4 times? He doesn't care. So why are you suddenly caring about what Christ?
I don't care. Me and John are not religious at all. I don't.
Yeah. So like, if you're not religious, you should stop trying to argue religion. Because I'm not trying
to argue religion.
Oh, you're trying to argue from the perspective. Like, well, I've heard this one verse.
Your intellectual consistency.
It's like the same thing where leftists will say, well, Jesus would let in all the immigrants into your country. Why don't you do that? Yeah, I don't believe in that, but you should but I'm hoping it will get you in your heartstrings and you change your position. No, I just don't listen to people that, well, I don't really think there's an honest conversation to have about what the best way to go about shaming and reintroducing the right kind of mindset into people who are already permanently damaged. It's just,
my whole thing. So I'm not a fan of shaming at all. I don't shame anybody on my channel. I don't believe in shaming. And that's why I was kind of challenging you.
Yeah, here I was hoping you'd call me an incel. Damn.
Nah, man, I don't really insult people. Like, that's not my style, nor do I see that as productive.
I think earlier you said we have a similar comedy style. So just off of you thinking insulting is not productive, I think that, and your audience that thinks insulting is bad, and we have very different comedy styles. But go on, Ed.
No, I actually don't think so. As a complete side note, I think actually, in a weird alternative universe, if you and I had similar values, and we probably would have, make each other laugh a lot. But
we would be part of the Vegas Hyman smashing crew in an alternate universe.
Well, clearly not for you, man.
Well, I mean, you get married and then you smash it and then you brag about it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, those are the main points. The one other point I want to bring up, it was kind of my last point, is that you made the argument in the stream that I don't have personal values or ethics. So again, I'm kind of curious, what is that based on?
Was that you? I'm pretty sure I meant John. I don't think
You said we. You said we. So both of them.
Oh, they. Yeah. Yeah. If you have similar viewpoints to him, yeah. If you have, and you said you don't like doxing, so just off of that, we don't have a long conversation with you. But John said that it's a quote. My philosophical values change on situation. Well, then they're not values, are they?
Yeah.
So it's not you. Like, if you felt like I was talking about you, let me take back half of that pronoun.
Okay.
But I don't know enough about what you think's acceptable or not. So if you felt personally attacked by that, I just kind of assume if you're, riding with the Pussy Crusher crew that you share a lot of the similar values.
Bro, I don't take any of this stuff personally. I never feel personally attacked. I just found it.
Oh, no, I just, I'm not. You don't need absolution from a green skin. I'm just saying if you felt like I was talking about you, because I was really talking about what John was thinking, who's acceptable to dox or not. That's that's the main issue of contention of why I think that just off of that, just throw everything else out. He's a piece of trash. Yeah. So yeah, no, and that's not good.
Okay. The reason I'm saying that again is because you said Dave, but okay, if that's not what you meant, that's fine. I'm not gonna hold.
I just didn't know you were. I don't know your positions. I wasn't really talking to you, the mod. I just assumed the head roach, was like dripping down roach juice, and everybody else agreed with it. But it seems that you have differing opinions to him.
Well, yeah, we're all individual people. Like, I mean, sure, I agree with some things on John, disagree with others. I don't know. Like, yeah, we're completely different human beings. Of course, we're gonna have different positions. We're not like fucking mirror copies of each other. Or
oh, you ride in the same crew, so you're the company you keep.
We're running in the same crew. What do you mean exactly?
I thought you guys were like protege partners. Like you guys do. Is that the first time he was on your channel? No, or are you just basic friends?
He's a buddy of mine, of course. Okay. But he's not.
Is he a close friend or just like, oh, he's like a YouTube friend?
He's a good buddy of mine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're good friends, and you're good friends with the guy that thinks it's okay to send violent feminists to destroy 19-year-olds. So even off of that, even if you don't think it's acceptable, you're still cool with him. That's kind of not cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with him on that. I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, whatever. Like, he's a good buddy of mine. I don't agree with him on the doxing thing. I personally never doxed anyone. I'm pretty sure, but then again, like that, I'm not a fan of this guilty by association argument because I'm sure you.
I mean, if I hung around a bunch of crackheads, you'd be like, maybe he shouldn't be, grabbing all the needles from the hospital.
No, but I'm sure you have friends who done things that you disagree with them on. Like
I don't have any friends that said it's okay to have someone doxed. That's such a egregious action. I would immediately cut off the friendship. That's how bad it is. Yeah, I'm not sure you realize how bad it is. That's horrible. That's disgusting. That's like, yeah. I definitely said some things that theoretically speaking, if Anthony Hobo Twerkin style doxed me, there would be some very serious repercussions, and maybe he would get a face-to-face conversation. It might be it might be not the way he expected it to go, but that's how serious it is to me. So that's like, it's
sure,
like
you take doxing very seriously. I get that.
Would I rather be graped or doxed? That's an honest conversation I have to have with myself. Would I rather have Tyronius Gigas grape me or get doxed? That's not an easy answer for me. That's how bad it is. So you're buddy with a dude who, in my opinion, is doing actions that, is it worse than grape? Is it great? I don't know which one's worse. I'd have to seriously sit down and be like, oh no. Tyronius, how much lube? 5? Oh God. Yeah. So that's how bad it is. I know I'm not sure you really thought about this, but I would highly recommend you reconsider the friendship. Would you be friends with him if he raped someone? If he was proven he kidnapped a chick and didn't just beat off in the corner, but actually raped her? Would you be still friends with him?
No, I don't, because I don't think doxing is as bad as rape. I mean, do you truly believe that doxing is as bad as raping somebody?
Well, it depends who's get doxed, right? If I say, oh, John Anthony Lifestyle lives here, his life is, he's already exposed. He has nothing to lose from cancel culture. Now, if I had something very valuable to lose I get blackballed from my career and I lose millions of dollars, yeah, I probably would take some rather righteous, violent actions. And then it would be, wow, maybe doxing this guy was the wrong idea. So yeah, no, is it as bad as grape? I couldn't answer that on the spot. I don't know. I'd have to really think about it, but it would definitely incur permanent changes to the friend group.
Okay. I mean, I think that it's kind of ironic because maybe I'm wrong about this. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but a lot of people in the comments were saying that you went into the debate with bad intention. And your whole goal wasn't to actually have a debate, but to like try to expose John or something like that.
I mean, I just wanted him to talk about his values. I thought he had consistent values. Him saying he doesn't have consistent values, he exposed himself.
Okay, so you're saying that's a lie? That wasn't your intention? Like you're saying?
I mean, the intention was I had a low opinion of him. I had court documents. He's part of the Vegas Pussy Crew. I think his business and mission is absolutely vampiric. But like, if there was a situation where he could have said the right answers, and I wouldn't have been nearly as aggressive. But he just dug a hole with the doxing from the start. So like I think the majority of the YouTube community, because he makes videos that don't talk about pickup. He's exposing other pickup artists, and a whole lot of people want to see pickup artists exposed. When they realize he's a pickup artist, that's when things get a little bit, So
I just find it kind of ironic because your big point against John is that you're critical because of something he did that is fucked up. But then his argument, he's like, well, in my opinion, it was justified. And now, according to a whole bunch of people, what you did was fucked up, and you're saying, well, it was justified because he's a doxer. So
yeah. So like, if someone
people justifying their actions, and I don't think either one is right. I think doxing is wrong. I think going into debate with bad faith is wrong. I think fucking trying to expose people.
I mean, what's good faith? What's bad faith? I knew I disagreed with him. What's a good faith debate? Wow, John, your courses are so great. You are actually worth $1,000 an hour. But me roasting a low value woman versus this dude doxing someone is like comparing. I took a dump in your mailbox and I blew up your house. You can say they're both bad actions, but you can't really compare them unless it was like a shit bomb in your house.
I'm not trying to make a moral equivalency. I'm just pointing out the irony in this little cycle of actions where like you think John is super fucked up for doxing someone, and you might have a fair argument. Again, I think doxing is fucked up too, but his argument was, well, Wheat Waffles deserved it, and then your argument is like, well, John deserved it, right?
Well,
so just do fucked up shit and say,
what did he deserve that I said he deserved?
The what?
I said John deserved it. What did he deserve?
Like you to be super rude to his girlfriend?
Oh, me being mean to his girlfriend. Yeah. So like if you agree with John and you agree with his values, you think I'm an asshole, incel, green skin that I guess no pussy, and I'm wrong. If you think doxing is wrong, you think he's a dickhead. I think there's a lot more people who don't even know about the sphere that think doxing is wrong.
They're not mutually exclusive. Both things can be fucked up. My personal opinion is both are fucked up.
I would say more people think that doxing is fucked up than a green skin making fun of a dude's girlfriend that he's using as a meat puppet. It's like, hey, come here, babe, kiss me so I can get the green man mad.
No, you're right about that. I agree with you that most people would think that. Again, I'm not saying that you're less, like John is more justified than you. I'm pointing out the irony in this little circle of justifications and everyone doing things that are fucked up. That's all. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, no, well, it's
you're more in the wrong than he is.
Well, he doesn't think that doxing's fucked up, and I don't think that putting a roach in his place is fucked up. I don't, right? So, like, again, me roasting her, maybe there's a young woman out there with a boyfriend pushing for sex, and she could demand a ring. So, like, me roasting his girl, it's offensive. Again, like, what did he want me to say? Did he want me to say, well, your girl's nasty? I don't get that. Like, what? You want to say that she's not sexually attractive? Because his whole thing is, like, look at these sexually attractive women I get with.
Well, don't backtrack on that. Like, don't.
Well, like, what's the backtrack?
Like,
it's not fucked up. I don't think it's fucked up. I think a dude who doxes people deserves to be hurt to the level of emotional fragility he has to the max. People should write letters to him and say, I'd zinc in your girlfriend. Every day he should get that until he apologizes and gets to his knees and sends all the money he stole from men to Wheat Waffles. That's what I think. You don't agree with that. He doesn't agree with that. But I think I'm justified in that.
Right. So, well, that's again goes to the irony that I'm poining out is that you.
Well, what's the irony? He thinks he's right. I think I'm right. That's not ironic.
No, the irony is that he feels he was justified to dox Wheat Waffles, which is something that you think is despicable,
yes.
Right? And you feel like you're justified in being super rude to his girlfriend because of something that he did.
Well, I mean, what's super rude about it? They wanted to know what's high value, low value.
I mean, like, again, like what I'm talking about with the backtracking is like you already said, like, yeah, that was probably super rude. That was a personal attack.
Yeah, well, it's rude. It's rude, but like, is it violent to punch a rapist? Some people deserve to be rude too. People should be rude to John every day. They should laugh at his little man titties every day.
What is his girl? Why does his girlfriend deserve to be rude to? You see, I'm assuming you know nothing about her, so why does she deserve that?
She deserves to be told the truth. And that men who want marriage and families see her as low value. I wish she heard that before she decided to, get the hymen busted out, get 10 dudes in her, and then meet John.
Right, but that's not, again, that's
you can't change the past, but maybe she has a daughter and she teaches her mistakes. Watch out for dudes and bro tanks. They'll smash that pussy.
So did you do it because you were trying to help her?
I don't care about her. She's her as a person. She was an actor. is that an actual authentic interaction, or did he want to bring her in front of me to try to trigger me? He's like, oh, I get pussy, you don't. Knowing John, I would say it's a setup. I don't think that was, I don't think that was an honest interaction there.
I just don't understand why you don't own it. Like, you were like, yeah, you know what? I just meant to get under his skin. It is what it is. Like,
well, it was getting under his skin, but it was making a point of the difference between men that want strong families and men that want to, have sex with low value women their whole life.
But you didn't do it out of some philosophical reason. You did that because you're like,
it was both. It was both. The philosophical reason was people who want to hear this kind of the discussion needs to know why I think that she's low value and what men who think low value women are think about them.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, this guy pretty much sums it up. You didn't tell the truth. You just said some shit to Liz to get John angry.
Well, what's the truth? What that I is it? Does he think I wouldn't give her a green stinky pie to go home with? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I take it back. She's disgusting. I would never put my schlong in that. I don't want chlamydia there. Is that the truth?
Like, I just don't understand why you don't own it. Like, just be like,
well,
hey,
what am I supposed to own? What am I supposed to own?
I fucking hate this guy, and I was just trying to piss him off.
Do I hate a cockroach before I step on it? It grosses me out, but I'm getting rid of a vermin. Did I want to piss him off? No. I was, what was I thinking? This is going to piss him off. No, I was just off of it. No, my values piss him off. So if I'm a reflection of my values, of course, to piss him off. But if I really want to piss him off, I'd start talking about how he can't bench more than a plate. That'd probably piss him off. Like, hey, bro, flex for the camera. Show me your truth. That would piss him off. If I was thinking about how do I piss this guy off, I wouldn't, I want to talk about Zinkin, the guest star from Planet of the Apes. I want to do that.
You don't think it would piss a guy off, the average guy off, to tell him that you...
I was saying it's not the point. I wasn't doing it to piss him off. It just was a side effect of he's pissed off at the fact that I don't see his woman as some queen like he does.
Yeah, I mean, again, the way it seemed to me and the way it seeed to 99% of the audience was just a petty insult.
Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. If it's 99% of your audience, I had and I'm not trying to flex, but I had 3 times. So the full audience, it might have been a 4th, right? But that's just a function of your fans watch your channel, your fans like you, your fans like John. My fans are going to come across me like, oh, he slapped Alex with his green schlong. He's going to be, tripping. But is that the truth? Right. You have to talk to the neutral parties and see, who it was.
Yeah, so you would be correct. You're correct about most of those premises except one. My audience likes John. My audience largely does not like John. It's actually very rare that my audience takes John's side.
Oh, okay. But do you think your audience defends women and their honor and gets upset if a man says something like that? I would say, yeah. Does your audience think? You can ask a question like, are non-virgin women? You can put a poll up and just send me the data. Are non-virgin women all low value? Because I would say most of them would say no. Because that's really the crux of the issue. Is their beliefs that kind of a lot, may not like John, but a lot of his. And I know I have a very extreme belief on this, but you can ask your audience. That's really, if I ask my audience, are non-virgin women low value? I'd probably get 90% yes, and you would get 90% no. So that's the.
Let's not make this seem like this is a case of white knighting, because it's so clearly not that. This is just blatant.
What's white knighting? What's simping? What do you think simping is?
Is when a guy is basically placating a woman to get laid. I have no desire.
You can placate
at all.
I would say you could placate a prostitute by paying her to get laid. I wouldn't consider that simping. I see simping as the OG definition, and if you disagree, there's a lot of definitions. It's like calling someone a cuck. Are they actually a cuckold like Jack Murphy, or are they, giving up resources for their niece? Some people you get resources for not your kids. That's cucking. Now, simping for me is a sucker idealizing mediocre pussy. That's what it means to me. That's the OG definition. So, what do you agree with that, or what do you just want to maintain the placate to get pussy? What's your definition? Because now you know mine and my reason. What do you think?
Say that again. It's idealizing mediocre pussy. Is that it?
Sucker. Idealizing mediocre pussy is an acronym. Yeah, simp.
Idealizing mediocre pussy. Well, how do you define whether it's mediocre or good pussy?
Then it's just and then it comes to what's good pussy or not. I think a dude that pays for and lives with a non-virgin. Well, this is my perspective, right? He just wants to have meaningless hookups. So he doesn't think he's a simp because he thinks these women are worth it. I don't think they're worth it.
Right, but she's mediocre pussy according to your values of her being a non-virgin. But if
Yep.
she doesn't want to get married and have kids, then she would not be.
And then she's real mediocre. Then that's like, again, then the only thing, she doesn't want marriage or kids, and she's
No,
a
I'm talking
non-virgin.
about him, not her. He doesn't want marriage or kids. So what?
Well, let's have him say that, because he said maybe. Because I think if he said I don't want marriage or kids, there's a large percentage of his customer base who buy his shit because they want marriage and kids, and they'd be like, wow, why would I get it from this guy? Because he's a smart businessman and he danced around that. I don't know. Maybe I got sperm frozen.
Just largely because he's undecided, like me. Like I don't have a firm answer on that. I don't have any plans.
Okay, that's okay.
Kids.
So that's different than saying he doesn't want it, right? That's different than saying, well, he doesn't want it, so why are you,
Right, but it just makes her mediocre by your values. It doesn't make her mediocre universally.
Yeah, I'm sure there's dude. I mean, I had a bread tube dude that said he'd love to marry Riley Reid. I consider that simping. He doesn't, but we had different values. So we had different definitions of simp. We have different values of what mediocre pussy is.
Okay, so if I personally believe that religion is silly, would I be justified insulting religious people?
And for yourself, sure. Like, yeah. And if you're convicted in that and you think it's stupid and you insult it all the time, I don't care what I'm not thin-skinned. I'm not going to, say I'm going to beat him down on a stream.
No, I'm not thin-skinned either. This is not coming from that place.
I'm not calling you thin-skinned. I'm just saying I don't care what you have to say about religion. I don't care. So you can say whatever you want.
Right, but it would probably be pretty fucking like rude and disrespectful.
Well, people put crucifixes and piss as an art exhibit. That's disrespectful. What am I doing to stop that? Nothing.
Right, but two wrongs don't make a right. Like you can think that John is the most fucked up person in the world, but that doesn't justify you then doing something fucked up. Like it's just
like how fucked up. Like it goes back to him thinking that canceling wheat waffles is good because it stops men from potentially getting blackpilled. Whereas me thinking if roasting this woman is disrespectful, if it stops men from simping and stops women from throwing away their hymens, it is a greater good.
But how is it for the greater good if you just said that there's not that many virgins? If we can have more virgins, that would be like
it's the culture. Women aren't told that they're low value if they don't have a hymen. So every time I tell a woman with no hymen that she's low value, it's changing the culture microscopically on an individual level.
All you're doing is just insulting a girl who has different values than you.
Insulting? I'm telling her that I see her as low value because she's a non-virgin. And that for me, a man who wants to have kids with a virgin, the best thing she can do for me is meaningless sex. That's not, now you say you phrase it insultingly. The message is still the same. Like I say, I would wish to copulate with you slowly and then fast, but then slow again and then finish. Like,
I mean, you're attributing moral value to a woman not being sexual. Okay, fine. Like your argument is that, well, according to statistics, she's going to be less likely to divorce the guy. Is that the crux of your argument?
I mean, what's the crux? So we said it was the stats, it was religion, it was other things. I mean, I think a woman who it's like, could I really blame her for being a non-virgin? She probably grew up with a mother who was a non-virgin at marriage. She probably grew up with kids around, women around that were just throwing it left and right. It's a real hard task, especially if you don't even know about this. That's why we need to go out. Not you, but me, need to go out and preach this kind of stuff. Because everybody, all of culture, if the pickup artist dream is women that are sexually free. That's like the opposite of what I'm saying is a valuable woman. So I understand why you guys think it doesn't make sense because, well, you guys would rather have women that have sex with you.
It's not that. I'm just not a fan of shaming people for having different values than me. That's all.
Okay. Well, is that for any value or just this value?
I mean, for values that are not, unless there's something that causes harm to people.
Okay. I would argue that non-virgin
women like serial kill people, then yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Or they break into their house and take all their cereal and replace it with dog kibble. These bastards. But no, it's just like, well, you don't think there's any damage that occurs to women when they have sex before marriage or anybody?
Do I think there's damage that occurs to women if they have sex before marriage?
Yes.
No. Okay. What is the damage?
Well, they have less stable marriages.
according to statistics, it doesn't mean that woman is going to have less.
Well, what you said? One woman, or I'm talking 10,000 women has
But
sex
the
before
thing
marriage.
is that you're using macro to argue for the micro, which is a logical fallacy. So
That's not a logical fallacy. Not everybody that smokes get lung cancer, but we tell people not to smoke because we don't want them getting lung cancer.
right, but that woman who, for example, if she's deciding, oh, should I have sex outside of marriage or not, and she decides to do it, it's not like that action in of itself makes her more likely to divorce her husband.
I would say it does. I would say it does, because if it didn't have an individual effect, now not that individual effect, it doesn't need to determine the outcome. It could just sway it 5 or 10%. It could be some brain chemicals we don't know about, because when you zoom out, there are large changes in the stability of marriages.
So do you think a guy should be a virgin as well, like before marriage?
I keep on getting this question, and I keep on asking for statistics, not because I'm like, oh, what are stats? It's like I look for the stats every time. I don't see it. Since 80% of divorces are initiated by women, I would just gander that no, it's not as important. Now, let's say the 20% is linked to male virginity. Okay, that means that male virginity is what? Or women virginity is 4 times more important than male virginity when it comes to marriage. And who gets killed in divorce courts? It's men. So could it make a difference? Theoretically, if I knew that male virgins are less likely to be and or divorce their wives, I would want my daughters to marry a male virgin from our church. I just don't know, I just don't know the data. And, considering that it's women initiating the divorces, it's not the biggest issue here.
But so you're not going to have sex. So let's say you get a girlfriend. Are you not going to have sex with her until you guys get married?
Is she a virgin?
Yeah, let's assume she is a virgin.
Yeah, it's like, is she a virgin due to circumstance? Does she have those strong values? If I found a virgin woman and we were dating and being serious, I probably, if I had sex with her, I would think that she's worth marrying, and it would be, it's up to her to cancel that. But I wouldn't be, banging her and chucking her.
But then she had sex with you before marriage, so she becomes low value then, does she?
Well, if she dumps her fiance who she had sex with before marriage and lost her hymen to, she's already low value. It's that decision that makes her low value.
But you just said you would most likely have sex with her before marriage.
I mean, what's the room, right? Is it like the week before if it was a week before the wedding, I feel like there would be, I feel like there would be a much better payoff of having sex on the wedding night. Now, is she a virgin? We date for 2 years. We meet once before the wedding, long distance, whatever it is, and we have sex, but we know we're going to get married. If she doesn't break off the engagement, I'm still the one that punched that hymen ticket. I'm the one that got the platinum trophy on that bitch's pussy. So if she marries me, she stays high value. If she decides to break up that engagement, good luck to the next guy. Because if that same woman came up to me and said, well, I was a virgin and I was engaged and I had sex with my fiance, but then decided he wasn't good enough for me, no way. Nah. Move on.
Well, okay. How do you, there was recently a TikTok video that was pretty funny. It was a guy. She said that her husband wanted to wait until marriage. They had sex, and she found out on the honeymoon that he had a micro penis. So,
oh man.
So like,
that's a blown. Can you imagine? It was like your bitch takes off her pants at wedding. She doesn't even have a pussy. You're like, what?
Yeah, that would fucking suck. But I guess my question is like, why would you not want to, like, sex is such a crucial part of a relationship. Why would you not want to get a feel for
why do you think it's crucial?
Why do I think sex is crucial?
Yeah, why do you think it's crucial in a relationship? What are the benefits to having sex besides the nut? Besides the physical pleasure? And we can get to that after that. What's the benefit to sex in a relationship?
The intimacy, the chemistry, the connection.
Do you think that's better suited for a woman you're meeting a couple times a month, or a woman you're trying to build a family with?
Either or. It depends on what you're trying to do.
I don't know. I'm not trying to build intimacy and deep lasting connection with a girl I pick up from the club. I'm trying to have a physical release and have her like break the window as I zinc shot her after a month of monk mode.
Yeah, you just seem to separate.
Like, why would you want physical intimacy with the woman you see 3 times, or like emotional deep connection? Like what? Like this, I would say that either means you are so desperate for that kind of emotional deep intimacy, or that you don't really. I don't know. I'm not saying you, but like that man wouldn't really know what that is incapable of giving it. If he thinks that hooking up with chicks is the same as having meaningful sex with your wife, those aren't equivalent to me. My
All
opinion.
I'm saying is before committing to a girl for potentially lifetime, I would want to get a feel for something that I think is a very important part of the relationship, and that's sex. So I would
So like,
want
what are the pros and cons? So like, let's say what kind of sexual activity you think a woman's like, oh wow, this is horrible. What would be the things?
it doesn't matter if she thinks it's horrible. I guess it does, but
No, for you, I'm saying for the male perspective, this is like, oh wow, because like for me, I haven't, I'm not out here trying to build a temple of 2,000 leg count like your good friend, but I haven't been in a pussy and be like, this pussy trash. I never had that.
Have you ever had girls that you just didn't have a good sexual chemistry with?
Yeah, but usually because they were drunk or I didn't care about them, not because their pussy was wrong, not because of their biology.
Well, it's not because of biology. There's more to sex than just biology, but sometimes you have sexual chemistry and sometimes you don't.
So it's the relationship more than the biology then, right?
It doesn't necessarily need to be the relationship. You can have two situations where you have 2 one-night stands, and one girl you have a lot of sexual chemistry with, and one
what's the sexual chemistry? Is it like the position she likes? What is it?
It's not something that can be quantified. It's just a feeling.
Honestly, like get like okay. Well, is it how into it she is? Do you share the same likes? Is she like kissing the right side of your neck? Like, do you have any? I'm not. What do you think it is? Like, think of the worst lay you had and the best lay. What's the difference?
A lot of it was just the sexual chemistry I had with a girl.
Okay, so what determines sexual chemistry?
It's like saying what determines love.
Well, aren't you an expert in this? Shouldn't you know like what the best way and love? Yeah, let's talk. We can talk about love. I mean,
you can't quantify certain emotions. Like you can't.
Well, sexual chemistry is more like whether or not you have good sex, right? I think that's what that is.
Right, but that.
So what makes good sex versus bad sex? Can you not talk about what makes good? I can come up with a couple of reasons.
Of course I can.
Okay, then what makes good sex versus bad? Like let's take a girl. Like let's say you're
there's a whole separate thing aside from that. All the technical, you can teach a guy the best sex game ever, and he could be the ultimate porn star, and there's still going to be certain girls that he just does not have good sexual chemistry with.
Have you ever
tangible? It's not purely tangible physical things.
I would say sexual. If it's the same biology and there's no difference in like arousal or arousal or fetishes or what you want to do, I would say it's mostly the relationship. And even if it's a one night stand, it's like, how is that one night relationship? What is she doing in the club? Is she like flirting with you like that? I would say that's it. But I do think it's telling that a man who does this as a job can't really determine what's good and bad sexual chemistry. That's very interesting.
Well, I'm just saying it's not something. It's like quantifying love. It can't be quantified. I can name a whole bunch of logical things.
Well, could you define love? How about you define love for my audience?
Define love for your audience?
Yeah, like what does love mean to you?
Again, it's not something that can be quantified. Like you're asking me to define.
I'm not asking you to quantify it. I'm asking you to define it. Like quantify how many Asian bitches are going to get a cream pie tonight.
Strong emotional fondness for a person, strong feelings of intimacy, care, passion, romance, whatever. I mean, it's a whole bunch of things to it.
So it's feelings.
Right, but it's not something. Yeah. How would you quantify love? There's a big difference.
No, I'm not asking you to quantify it. I'm asking you to define it. So just give me the definition here. I don't want to. We can talk about quantification, but I just want to hear definition.
Well, I just did that.
Okay, so for you, love is a feeling.
For anyone, love is a feeling.
I disagree. And this isn't a roast, but that is a very feminine definition of love. Females feel love. Now, can men feel love? Yes, but for men, love is sacrifice. You put the safety, the well-being of your family above your own. It's a sacrificial love. Like I feel like I love you, but if I'm not going to sacrifice for you, what does that mean? I'm sure you've heard this before, or heard dudes complain about this. Girls go, I love you. I'm just not in love with you. That's a very common trope girls say. It's sacrifice and a commitment.
So are you saying love is not a feeling?
It's both. I just think that would you rather have a woman feel that she loves you or make the conscious, committed sacrifice for you?
Well, she makes the sacrifice because she feels that she loves you. It starts with a feeling.
You can say attraction starts with a feeling. But if someone's attracted to me, but they don't want to sacrifice for me, if I'm getting jumped and the girl who feels like she loves me runs away,
that's a whole.
That love's not very well. I would say the masculine is more sacrificial. Now, the argument is, well, don't you need the feeling and the emotional and the things you can't explain? That's important too. I haven't really met anybody that, and it comes in waves. This is more like long-term relationships. I'm not sure what your longest was, but there are phases where you like don't feel the same levels of emotion. But what's the bedrock? What keeps you together? What makes the partnership work and the families together? The committed sacrifice to each other.
Yeah, sometimes you can have a committed sacrifice 1 year and then you stop having committed sacrifice. But
Well, it's the commitment's a year long then, right? So if you want to quantify it, would I rather get married to a woman who commits to be with me for 5 years and then she feels something different and she doesn't feel it and then she decides to change that commitment? Well, that's I'd rather have the lifelong one.
yeah, I agree with all that. I'm not in disagreement with you, but I'm still waiting for you to say how love is not a feeling.
Oh, it's both. You can define a lot of ways. You can say love is a feeling that you can't explain. It's your brain telling you to be attracted and sacrifice. Like if there weren't any, so it's like love is a feeling. That's biological. It's a biological input in how you feel. You are attracted to this person. You feel a certain way. If you were with a girl and she wasn't on, and there was no birth control, and you felt attracted to her, and she had your kid. Even though I might have kind of roasted you, I think if she had your kid, you would probably try to sacrifice for that kid and her, the mother. So it's the feeling that leads to the sacrifice, But when you had birth control and that kind of stuff, and
right. It's a feeling it's a feeling that usually leads to the sacrifice, right? And you're arguing
that could be it, or you could have a situation where it's an arranged marriage. You never meet them, you don't even feel it, but you've already committed to be with them.
But it's still love. It's still a feeling. Yes, it leads to a sacrifice, sure, but it's still a feeling.
Well, I could say it's a commitment and a sacrifice. That it's a sacrifice. You're saying love is a feeling that leads to a choice. I'm saying you choose to love someone. You're saying you feel love. We just have different perspectives here.
Okay, so you're saying love is a choice?
Yeah, the strongest love is a conscious choice to love them and be with them. It's the whole shtick of the wedding vows, which women don't typically care about.
Can you make yourself love any woman?
She giving me kids.
Let's say
is she am I forced to marry a woman? Well, I'm forced to, like, what is it? Can
you force yourself to love any woman on this planet? Because that would make it a choice.
Yeah, it's like I choose to love this person. Yeah, if you were left on Earth and no one else was left, and you were looking at a girl that took mailboxes to the face and she's morbidly obese, I bet there'd be some chemistry there after the third can of beans in a couple months.
Yeah, I'm just confused by why you think that the fact that love is a feeling is feminine.
Well, to you, there has to be one definition of love. There's multiple types of love.
That it shouldn't have. Yeah, I agree. There's different types of
love. Oh, yeah. So, like, what's the strongest love? Would you have a woman say she feels like she's attracted to you? Or
the strongest type of love is usually between family. It's usually a mother for her child. That's the strongest type of love. It's that unconditional love.
And why is that? Is that because a woman looks at the child and goes, "Oh, it's my kid," or is it because if an angry dog goes to the door, she's committed to that kid's safety and she'll fight that kid off?
Right, but that's again, she doesn't choose to love that.
Yeah, I see where it does blend. It's not completely separate. It does blend, right? So like some people don't consciously realize it's a choice and they go off the instinct and the emotion.
Like
it ends in the same results as someone who makes that conscious decision.
Like a mother doesn't choose, I'm going to love this kid, but I'm not going to love this kid. She loves.
Well, I mean, that happens every day in America. That happens.
Yeah, usually parents love their kids unconditionally most of the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, unconditionally, I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Like I'm sure, like my mom, for example, loves me unconditionally. Like I could be a massive piece of shit. My mom would.
Well, what if you Minecrafted your dad and raped her? Do you think she'd still love you unconditionally?
She probably love me less, but I think she would still love me. Yeah, I mean, it's highly.
I love you less. What, less feelings of warmth? Would she like take after you raped her and killed your dad? Would you take a bullet from the cops so you can get back down to Brazil?
Again, you keep thinking I live in Brazil. I don't live in Brazil. I've never.
No, it's a joke. I'm saying like you're in the U.S. You Minecrafted your dad. You raped your mother. Horrible thing. You never do that. I get it. Would love's diminished? Would you take a bullet from a cop as you get on the plane to stop you from getting shot after you did that?
I have no idea if my mom would take it
That's
after I killed my dad. And
that's it. It's crazy, but it's a condition. So like maybe I would, if she would do it and her love is unconditional, I think you're a very lucky man to have such a woman in your life. I just don't think it's a guarantee that women unconditionally love their children. I would disagree with that.
I'm not saying it is a guarantee. I'm just saying in general, mothers love their kids unconditionally. That's the one type of love that is unconditional, right?
I mean, it just off that thought experiment, it's not unconditional.
Right, but I'm saying it's largely unconditional. Yeah, that's an extreme situation. But I'm saying generally speaking.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. It's not a 100%, 0%.
Your partner or whatever, her love for you is conditional, not unconditional.
Okay. Let me perform an experiment to show you what's unconditional. My phone is about a meter above my desk. I dropped it. Fuck, I cracked it. Gravity is unconditional. You see what I'm trying to say? There is no situation where I drop my phone, that shit stays up there. It'd be cool. I make a lot of money. I wish I could shekels and make it stay up there.
Well, there are. If you're in outer space, it won't fall to the floor. So there are like that.
Well, you change it, But if I was in outer space and I wasn't using any thrusters, would I be attracted to the nearest largest form of mass? Yes.
Right. I see the point you're trying to make. Yes. I'm not
saying
it's
what's unconditional.
I'm not saying it's unconditional, but I'm saying it's largely unconditional.
In the normal confines of life and what happens, it could appear to be unconditional. I can agree with that. But there are extreme circumstances that proves that every woman doesn't have an unconditional love to her children. Like what about the women who all throughout history, their tribe got raided, their city got raided, and all the male children were murdered in front of them. They didn't fight and die for their kids. They went with the invaders. Was that unconditional love?
Yeah, again, like I agree that there are extreme circumstances. Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. I mean, I don't think we're even disagreeing on anything.
No, I think the disagreement is probably just what's unconditional to you, right? So like if 99.99% of something that yields one outcome, you'd say it's unconditional. For me, I'm more an absolutist on that. It's all right.
It's largely a mother's love for her child is largely unconditional. Yeah, there's certain extreme exceptions, sure. I mean, do you disagree with that? The mother's love for her child is largely unconditional, like generally.
Well, I mean, is unconditional mean that every single condition is tested for every single unconditional love? That's what it is. I would say for the majority of conditions that occur in our lives, if you're just looking at those, you can say it's almost like a prefix. For the conditions the average American family faces, a woman's love for her children is unconditional. But then we're talking about, not everybody's the average.
I think we're going on an extreme side tangent.
Oh, you're trying to go from Miami to Orlando, and you like wake up. I'm like, welcome to Alabama. You're like, fuck you, Undead Chronic. Where you fucking take me?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we got through all the points I want to get through. Is there anything you want to bring up?
No, I think this is a pretty interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
I can't think of anything else really. So John is undecided / like doesn't want a family. What about you? Like, what percentage are you on that journey? Do you know? Like, what's the decision for you?
It's undecided. I don't have any plans right now to have a family, but I'm not completely ruling it out. I don't have any desire to do it, but I haven't.
So is it just like if you feel, is it the right woman to come into your life? Is it a financial situation? Is it like after a couple of years of sipping whiskey by the fire?
Neither. At this point, it's not something I want, but I'm not saying I won't want it 10 years from now. I might change 10 years from now, so I'm not ruling it out.
Okay. How old are you, by the way? Wait, let me guess. Oh, that's not offensive. You're 31.
You're close. I'm 32.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, look, men are blessed. You can stay virile for a long time. I would just say having a family is such a large decision that I would, just do some serious thinking about whether you want it or not. Because if you just decide in 10 years that you want a family, part of you might be like, well, I wish I knew I'd want this when I was 30. Because then I wouldn't have to be chasing toddlers around when I'm trying to, put my life alert on my neck.
Yeah, I'm not like trying to have a family at this point. I might change my mind at some point in the future. I mean, how old are you?
I'm in my mid-20s. Whew. Okay. Early mid-20s, yeah.
Okay. So your goal is to have a family soon? Is that
have a strong family? Let's see here. definite timeline. I mean, definitely the next year and a half, but like in the grand scheme of things, no. So I want to have kids at 4:30, hopefully 3 or 4.
Okay. I mean, I think you're gonna have a really hard time doing that if you're looking for a virgin, especially in the
Well, I
first
mean, go overseas. The product is more plentiful.
Where do you think you're gonna go?
That's a big decision. I dream and I'm having you have fever dreams.
Yeah,
Have you had those? Any kind of I have yellow fever dreams. So that's kind of where I'm at. But like, it's like, I don't know what I want to happen. There's some genetic consequences. Don't want a white girl. If I want a white girl, it makes things a lot harder, to be honest. I guess, I don't know, what's white. I could go to the Middle East and get me some beautiful Kurdish Khazir Milkies, right? And they're white enough. I mean, shoot, if I had kids, then they'd be blonde. I mean, what, the Turkish royal family is all blonde haired, blue eyes. Shit, they're whiter than me. That's if I want a white woman and white kids. So I'm still that's what I'm deciding. Is like, what kind of genes do I want for my kids? But it's an American woman. I'm not saying my eyes are closed, but I'm just like, it's like you're unplugging your toilet and suddenly a diamond flies out. You probably realize it and get it, but you're not unplugging your toilet expecting to see some gemstones.
So what is your realistic plan? Like, it sounds like you're not sure what you're going to do.
Oh, well, as you choose a country, you can have contacts there. Because dudes are like, oh, I'm just going to get a Ukrainian bride. And they go to the bride website and they basically get a reformed hooker that says she's a virgin. It's just, oh, that's the worst. Have you seen like the 90-Day Fiance kind of thing? Yeah, you want to avoid those women. You can go to a local area, local church, make a fat donation. Hey, do you know any traditional women interested in having a family? All right. There's marriage markets. There's those things. The big thing is like, what age are you looking at too? If I'm looking at like women in their late 20s, nah, because it's more than just being a virgin. So the quality of the eggs. I love the eggs. You want better eggs. You don't want old eggs, nasty eggs, dusty eggs. Those are gross.
Well, you also need the woman to be down to have a family with you. It's not like a one way. You just go and you pick it like a fucking.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. She needs to be willing and able, right? But you go in with some financial resources and a large muscle mass and a good job. A lot of women who are traditional are very willing and able.
Yeah, man. I mean, good luck with that. That's all I can say on that.
Yeah. Hey, good luck with I hope you find out like tomorrow night in a fever dream, you know what it is. Because if you know you don't want one, that changes your lifestyle, right? And what you really want.
Well, I don't see how my lifestyle is going to change. I'm not like doing anything to have a family right now.
I'd say like if tomorrow night you realize you never want a family, I'd say go get a vasectomy, right? That protects you. Whereas if you know you want a family tomorrow night, like, I want a family, then it's just like, how old do I want to be with my kids? So that clarity would help you out either way. It's hard, it's hard to realize that when you're sitting on it like an egg, like incubate. But once a chick hatches, you'll see what kind of gender it is. And if it's a male chick, you throw it in the grinder to turn into McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Very poetic.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Have a good one, man.
Peace.
All right. That was interesting. Let's go through some comments and then we'll call it a stream. Yeah, that was interesting. I'm kind of mind fucked, honestly. Bro, can you sum up what you thought? Sure. Yeah, let me change my footing procedure sitting for this. Sum up what I thought. I thought that okay, there's so many things to unpack here. Let's start off with the virgin thing. I think the virgin thing is extremely unrealistic. And again, I think I don't think he has a solid reason for like he's using statistics. He's using macro to argue for the micro. So he's saying that, well, if a chick is not a virgin, if a chick is a virgin, she's less likely to divorce you. And sure, I would want to see that study. I'm curious how that study was done, but okay, I'd be very curious to see that study. But aside from that, let's assume the study is legit, right? Just because one chick that you're with, because she has sex with you before marriage, that doesn't make her less likely to divorce you, right? It's just when they look at the aggregate of statistics and they look at all the women who have a higher body count, they find that the correlation that they more likely to divorce a guy. So I see that as like a little bit of a logical fallacy. I see also just a lot of irony um, in that he's so critical of John for the doxing, and that's fair. I'm not a big fan of the doxing either, right? But then he's using it to justify his actions, versus John is using using Wheat Waffle's action to justify his. So I was trying to point out that irony to him. Um, I guess I don't know if I really drove that point home. Another thing that I found interesting is that he just would not own the Liz situation. So like if he was just like, yeah, dude, you know what? I was trying to piss him off. I fucking hate this guy. Then that's the end of that discussion. Uh, but you know, he's not. He's like saying, well, in certain light, it could be perceived as a compliment and blah 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 and blah blah blah. I'm just like, dude, like clearly it's highly rude to say to someone's girlfriend um, that you would fill her up with your cum. Like, I'm just imagining, like, if me and Natty were out and someone said that to her, like, I'm not a violent person by any stretch, but like, there would be like an issue. Like, you know what I mean? That's not something you ever say to someone's girlfriend. That's like highly rude. So I don't know. She wasn't like really recognizing that, which was interesting. But I don't know. It was definitely an interesting discussion. I will say that. Uh, yeah. Also, I think that like this glorification of virgins is just silly because if a chick, like at least from my perspective, if a chick is in her mid 20s or late 20s or early 30s and she's still a virgin, that means that she's either has a lot of hangups about sex or she's super religious. Either way, I'm not interested. Like, I don't want a chick who's super religious. I'm not into religion, and I wouldn't want a chick who's has a bunch of hangups about sex. Now, I'm not saying like you can always go to the extreme and say, well, what do you want a chick who has like a super high body count? No, I don't want a chick who's like a massive slut either, but there's like a happy medium. And I'm just not a fan of like shaming girls for what being sexually active. Like, obviously, sex is pleasurable for women. I think we all know that. Like, why would I shame a woman for like enjoying a part of life that I enjoy myself? So I'm just not a fan of shaming women for that. I'm not a fan of shaming men who like date non-virgins. Again, like I understand, like he's fully entitled to have his preferences, and if he wants a virgin, that's totally fine. I think it's extremely unrealistic and kind of silly, but that's his preference. But the what I took issue with was then him saying that that makes, because he doesn't want a virgin, so any girl who's not a virgin is low value. That's like me saying I think religion is dumb, therefore any person who's religious is low value, right? Like, you see the kind of a contradiction there. um Although I think that would be a much more solid argument to say that. um I thought there was some logical inconsistencies that I basically try to call him out on. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, this is definitely an interesting discussion, I'll say that. um let's see what comments we have. Alex, shouldn't he apologize to Liz? I mean, like, that's up to him. I mean, should he? Yeah. Is he going to? Probably not. Uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, what do you like? Should like? I'm not going to force him to. It's up to him, I guess, if he wants to. Uh, so someone says, wait, strange how he slammed Liz as low value, but told John she was banging. Yeah, well, I think in his mind that he draws a big difference between so he like, there's two types of girls. One are girls that are used for sex, right? And they're like, they're hot, they're sluts, whatever, but they're not like worth anything more than a good fuck. And the other is like real women who are like relationship worthy. And it's just those two categories, and there's nothing in the middle, right? Versus I see like a whole bunch of shades in between. Like, to me, if a girl's not a virgin, doesn't mean that she's not good for having a family, right? So I don't know. Not even that I really care about that, because I'm not trying to have a family. Someone said Undead Chronic had 700 people watching, twice as many as you, Cook Boy. Oh, he has more live viewers than me. Like, what does that prove at all? Like, he has a more popular YouTube channel? Sure. I don't really like care about that. People like really focus on this like live viewers. I mean, who cares? Like, that's just like a popularity contest. Like, someone has more, like, that's Not something I would ever bring up, like, oh, I have more live viewers than you, and vice versa. And Chronic didn't bring that up. I'm just kind of pointing out that what the viewers saying, like, who gives a shit? Like, I don't care who has more live viewers. Uh, so someone says, even if religion wasn't a factor, you still, again, so this is like the extreme logic. Oh, well, would you want a girl who's an extreme slut? No, obviously not. Well, there's a happy medium there where the chick is not, doesn't have major weird hangups about sex, and she's not religious, but she's also not a massive slut. There's like a happy medium that is kind of missing. Okay, anyway, what else do we have? This guy, I love how this guy just like only uses all caps. Undead Chronic is better than you. He has more live viewers than you. Okay, fanboy, sure. Okay, what else do we have? Like these guys are just going crazy in the chat. I want to debate one of these guys. Like I want to debate this guy. Uh, no, wait, this guy. I want to debate this dude. PUA cut tears. Like, what are you even talking about? That's hilarious, dude. I want to debate you, based hermit or whatever the fuck you are. Come on for a debate. I want to actually talk to this person, like who seems to not know that the computer has a caps lock key. Okay. Anyway, anyway, I think that's basically. What's your cutoff for body count? Was it the declination of quality versus no quality? I don't have a hard cutoff. Uh, this guy's still using all caps. Thanks for the shutout, bro. You can turn your caps lock key off, but I doubt he's ever going to come on. Anyway, so what's my cutoff for? Someone asked this question. What's my cutoff? I don't have a hard cutoff. I mean, I think that it depends on her age. Like if she's younger, obviously the cutoff is going to be lower. Depends on her situation. Was she in many long-term relationships? Like, let's say a chick is 18 or like 19, and she was in a long-term relationship from 16 to 19, and she has a body count of 15. Well, that's going to be pretty high. But let's say she's 30 and she hasn't been in any super long-term relationships. Well, then 15 is not all that much. So I think it's subjective. I don't have a hard cutoff. I also don't really focus on that as much. I focus more just like the qualities, and I'm pretty good at reading people. So I focus on like, okay, is she consistent? Is she honest? Is she loyal? Have I ever caught her in lies? That's like an instant deal breaker. Alex first, 2 super virgins. Okay. What else do we have? Someone says, how can he demand a virgin when he claims to have banged 80 chicks? Isn't that hypocrisy? Yeah, I think the argument that he makes is I think the argument that he makes is that, well, when men, there's no studies about men leading to higher divorce rates when they have high body count. So again, he uses macro to argue for the micro, which is a common logical fallacy. Is it hypocrisy? Yeah, I guess in some ways it is. Nadi said, I'm more perplexed that Alice doesn't see an issue with him calling her low value. That's not true. I saw an issue with that. Like, I took issue with that. Like, how is that? In his opinion, he's entitled to have his opinion that she is whatever, doesn't fit in with his values. That's fine. It's more the fact that he actually then uses that to make the argument that she is inherently low value, which is different. Anyway. But Alex, can you really call that hypocrisy when you're loud? Yeah, no, I think I never said I was completely above hypocrisy. I think there's elements. Yeah, I think there's an element of hypocrisy to that, to my relationship. But again, I never made the claim. I'm just answering the question. I never made the claim that he's a hypocrite for having that position, right? Someone asked, who drew that regular picture? That was Allende. All right. Anyway, yeah. Anyways, I'm kind of mind fucked. I need to. I don't know. I need to to smoke a joint and play with Rhaegar or something and remove this from my mind. No, it was a good discussion. It went probably better than I thought. It was interesting. I will say that. I'm not gonna personally attack this guy or anything. Uh, he was respectful on in the discussion. So yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. This was a big mindfuck, but it was interesting. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully, you're enjoying the new format of doing these debates. I think it's good, to have discussions with people who think differently than you. I'm a big fan of that. So, yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more of these. Anyway, guys, until next time. Oh, actually, someone said this. So, there's a funny quote in, I think it was Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. So, when they meet George Bush, and they're like, wait, but you smoke weed, but then you arrest all these people for smoking weed? And then George Bush responds with, what does he say? Do you like hand jobs? He's like, hell yeah. Do you like giving hand jobs? No. Then aren't you a hypocrite? Right? So it's funny. I guess we're all hypocrites in some ways, but the question is, how much of hypocrites are we? I like to think that I'm pretty intellectually consistent. Like, if you watch all my videos from years back, you're not going to find any big, intellectual inconsistencies or hypocrisies in my action. Like everything I say, I do really. Like there's nothing that I personally talk about that I don't do. So anyway, that's me. Anyway, guys, peace.